Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty Challengers Elite. We've had our European players throw down earlier in the evening. We've taken a very quick flight all the way across the Atlantic and we've landed in North America. It's time to meet our 8 teams from our North American side, but also my co-caster for this one, of course, it's Chris Tunn. Tunn, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. We're cracking on 11:30 over here in the UK, and we're fine. We're ready to get in some more games. And if they're as good as the games that we've seen in the European side of things, we're in for a treat, pricey. 2 best out of 5s, 2 potential reverse sweeps that then just got denied immediately in between Dizzy's Rascals and Team War, then Cilio Signs and Invincibles. And now we have Ironblood Gaming going up against Electrify Steel and 705 Esports versus Red Wolves. We've already pointed out Iron versus Steel in the first game. Don't know what any of you lot who, you know, periodic table and that they're not on the periodic table. Are they? They're manufactured, pricey. I was trying to be clever and inherently made
Steel
myself
is an ally,
stupid.
mate. Steel is an ally.
Yes, it is. Yep, there you go. Well, anyway, they're both metals. That was my point.
Well, I'll give you some excuse that it's sort of late in the UK for this one, but yeah, we do have to have a look at them. These are obviously our teams that have made it into Season 3 for Challengers Elite. Ironblood Gaming, Electrify Steel, Ultra Academy, the North American version, Red Wolves, Valor Esports, whatever it takes, Trash Bros, and 705 Esports, who were called something a little bit different just a little while ago. And obviously, this is our standings so far. This will change and be updated as we go through the season, but nobody's played anything yet. Nobody's won, nobody's lost. Everybody's feeling good about being here, Ton.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's our first chance ourselves personally to get a good look at some of these NA Challengers teams outside of what we've seen, of course, at the Pro-Am. Strike X not in here, if I am correct, as well. I'm pretty sure that they didn't re-qualify, even though they qualified for the Pro-Am, which was pretty crazy. But besides that, Ultra Academy are the team that a lot of people are going to look at, and rightfully so. I mean, what a showing they actually did put in at that Pro-Am. A lot of people talk about Scrappy, but I think the whole of the team really did themselves justice. Just unfortunate not to go through that 2-1 tiebreaker, of course. That happened. That's unfortunately just the way it sometimes does go with groups, but I think a lot of these players and this full roster will be on a lot of people's lips, I would say, going forward. But they need to keep up the consistency. If they can continue doing elite challenges, then yeah, they will have a lot of people in contact. Maybe this season, but definitely for the next.
Yeah, they should, of course. But let's dive into our very first game then and get these things underway. Ironblood Gaming against Electrify Steel, and I'm going to have fun with those names as we go through, but this is how it's going to play out. We start on Bocage with a Hardpoint. We stay on Bocage with a Search and Destroy. Then we take a hop, skip, and a jump over to Berlin Control. Then Gavutu, map number 4, and Desert Siege if we get that far to wrap things up, Ton.
Oh, I haven't seen a Desert Siege in a while. That's quite a surprise. We haven't, honestly, I just feel like we haven't casted it very much recently. Anyway, and that's besides the point. Bocage, Search and Destroy obviously in there as well with Berlin Control. And very mixy start once again, as we had in our previous series over on the European side. Gavutu to slow it down if we do need a map number 4. Of course, map number 5 being Desert Siege as well. So interested to see how this goes out. I want to say it's a bit of a strange map set, actually. It's not a map set that I would say, you know, like you have your typical map sets that would come through. You usually see a lot of Berlins, a lot of Tuscans. I kind of feel like you don't see too much Bocage, Hardpoint, and S&D these days, I would say, as much as you used to. I want to say that's maybe.
I think the only surprise is probably Tuscan missing from it, but
yeah,
you don't usually see a double Bocage start. I think a Bocage Hardpoint start is pretty standard for an awful lot of teams. Like, it's people kind of cut the other ones out, and this is what we're left with, and one team takes it. The Berlin Control's been in something that's just been thrown into the mix here, and bearing in mind that some people like Tuscan, some people like Gavutu. Berlin's this happy mix where teams are kind of new enough on it that it's usually the one that gets brought into the rotation. But yeah, and then obviously ending with the Desert Siege. You are right, we haven't seen a ton of sieges, but that's more us and the luck of the draw, I think, than anything. But it's an interesting map set for certain.
Yeah, 100%. Interested to see how it's going to break down when we do get into it. Curious to see what we're going to see from both of these two squads anyway, and interested to get our first look on them and see how things are going to break down over here in North America. And I think, you know, like a lot of people will have the conversation of in between North America and Europe and where the best challengers team lie, and I think it's been hard to kind of prove that over the past couple of years, obviously with the pandemic, etc. So now the fact that we get to have these LAN events where we've seen it already in Minnesota, which was great fun. Of course, we had a little peek in there a couple of times during the weekend. It was right next to our green room, so we had a little peruse, if you like, and enjoyed it immensely. I think the first time I went in, the amount of smack talk I heard just it took me back, Brycey. It took me back.
Yeah, it's certainly something we've enjoyed an awful lot of, and seeing these players come through. And if you didn't join us for the European show, but joining us for the North American show, one of the points I kind of want to hit on again is I've always considered Challengers Elite to be the premier scouting ground for any players that we expect to see in the franchises next season or even this season. Let's face it, there's a lot of subs flying about. There's a lot of teams that are looking to strengthen their roster. And truth be told, what better place to find VOD, to find out how they deal in an intense competition environment than this. You get to see them against everybody, you get to find out their vetoes. These are the best 8 North American teams we currently have in Challengers. And any one of these players could be next up. Hey, some of these players have been up and they've come back down for a brief sabbatical, and maybe they'll go back up again.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? I mean, last season we had it in Europe, at least with Trey. Zero dropping down and obviously having a little go of things and challenges, and then actually coming back up into the CDL and doing really well. Now we've got Gizmo back down in Europe also. But looking at some of the rosters, of course, across the board, we've got players like Royalty Classic in there, Pristini. Hixie, of course, has had his little go, of course, in the Ultra Academy NA side of things and playing for Ultra. At the stage when I think it was when Kami had COVID, if I remember rightly, you got guys like Assault in there. Phantom's also about. Yeah, there's plenty of guys over on their near side.
ProLuke just joined Optic, apparently.
Oh yeah, so ProLuke will not be playing for his team, of course. So that's
well, you say that, but I saw him tweet out earlier, so we're going to get confirmation on it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether he is or not, because I saw him tweet out about the Elite tonight. So whether that was just him tweeting out regardless, and whether they've skipped scrims, we will find out and get that updated for you. I need an update on that one.
Well, hopefully we're nearly ready.
I thought it was a bit weird.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would think so. Especially like, surely you're busy now, bro. Right? Like first game is Friday, right? I would have thought he would be scrumming. First game is obviously going to be map number 1 is going to be Bacage. Interested to see how things are going to work out here when we hopefully get jumping into the game. One thing I do remember about Challengers thing, NA players are very bad at getting into lobbies, so hopefully they can crack on. Because there's only so many times I can tell you what the map said. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to find out. So apparently, yeah, probably that was not a correct tweet earlier. Apparently, Ramby will be replacing him. So I don't know what tweet I saw earlier. You have to forgive me. Like I said, I've been doing an awful lot of Call of Duty recently. But no, apparently, ProLuke is moving on to Optic. It may have been a bait tweet coming in from him to begin with, but yeah, it looks like. Oh, actually, no. I've got another update. I'm just finding out all this now because we've actually been, since these tweets come out, we were casting, so we didn't get to see them. Essentially, what's happened is Major Maniac is apparently going on there.
Oh, okay.
Going onto it. So they should be on whatever it takes as we go through this one. But yeah, sorry for the confusion. I'm just trying to keep up with the infinite roster moves that happen over and over again.
COD Game Pedia are on the case. Don't you worry, mate. It's already changed on there. I've just noticed. There you go. Major Maniac, Neptune, 2 Real, and Brack. That should be a very good squad. That should be a really good squad. Neptune, I think, didn't have the best time of things when it did come down to his time in subliners. Major Maniac hadn't had the best time of things either. So it should technically be a good squad, but I think, like, kind of going back to what you just said just there, they didn't necessarily have the best time of things, though, did they, when they dropped down these teams from going into the CDL, down into the Challengers? Notoriously, I remember Methods last season. Not looking great at all.
Yeah,
obviously in Cold War.
Same with Zero, if you're being honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they didn't have a good time of things at all. So interesting to see if things are going to break down that way. But yeah, we'll hopefully be getting them in the first game first.
Yeah, we will. I believe there's just been a slight issue with one of the players getting into the lobby. So we are just going to take a quick break. When we come back, though, we should have this game ready to go. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Our game is ready, and so are we. Time to jump into our first game here. Electrify Steel versus Iron Blood Gaming. Sounds like something you'd find out of an anime, but it's real and it's coming to you live by the CDL. Let's see how these two teams get on Bocage Hardpoint.
Yeah, these are new ones for me and you, Bryce. So very excited to jump into this one between these two teams. And no better way to start than Bocage, of course. We bloody love a Bocage, don't we? Right into the mixer to kick things off here on the North American side of things. Uli seeing what he can do to get some sort of control for his squad. He'll be looking for that rotation over towards P2, which is still there for Iron Blood Gaming. Electrify Steel going to look to try and break that spot.
By the moment, just a little bit of positioning going around onto this one. You can see both teams just trying to now look for those P2 spawns. A little bit of time coming in from Electrify. As they get that time they can do, a bit of milking onto P1. That fight's still ongoing for the rotation.
Yeah, nobody really coming out clear on this one. Eventually, Iron Blood will get a little bit of time here. It's going to have to be a push through for Electric Steel, but yeah, P1 very much hotly contested. Surprising to see even around 30 points taken away there, but nonetheless, here we go over towards P2, and kills coming in at the right time here for Iron Blood. Salt soaking up the time for his team, but it's a 3 and 4 spray for Exceed and Welly. Well played from them to force the teams back. Assault and Co will lock this one down. This is good time for Iron Blood.
Yeah, Noisy going to continue to push this out as much as possible. You can catch so many people off the rip here, and he goes for the long shots with the MP40. He doesn't get any, and the player he was shooting mind eventually gets to himself. He's not going to be the biggest fan of that actually happening, as they were in a good position here, Blood. And you can see Electrify just going to now teed onto this hard point. They have a little bit of control.
It may well be momentary, though. We're starting to come back through. Cryptic needs to go a bit. We'll find one, we'll find two well lined up, but Noisy may well find that last kill. Yuli going to be trying to break this down as best as he can. 10 seconds to play with here. His teams already have rotation, so he has a sacrificial alarm that will break in as much time as he possibly can. But Noisy, 6 spree for him. Can he make it a 7 to try and get a hold of these streaks? Not going to happen. Cryptic will find him, so important kill coming in from Cryptic, but it is Electrify Steel with this rotation. Push around the back coming in from Iron Blood Gaming, though. It's going to be a bit of a pinch. These kills need to go the way of Electrify Steel if they want to keep this one alive. How is mine still alive that long? Nonetheless, will fall. Iron Blood Gaming locking this one down.
And now with control, you can see there's a lot of spreading coming in from Electrify. They try to find a way through, but it will be Noisy. He tries to just hold off the flood, and he has, unfortunately, not really got any teammates, but he's trying to make it work as he eventually takes him down. And Blood have been thrown out of this hard point, and now have to find their way back in.
Oof. Electrify still doing a really good job here. They did have that rotation, though, so you would have expected them to pick up more over this time. They're going to pick up the final 12 seconds as well. This rotation now going to start coming in. Assault will be dealt with, and we continue around looking at Assault with 1 and 10. Things not going his way. The lively start on Bocage not suiting him so far. His team's not far behind him. Noisy will be the first to fall on this rotation over towards the barn. Here comes Electrify Steel, though, pushing a couple of different doors.
Yeah, this is where it gets a bit mixed. You can see both teams got a good position to try and get some barn pressure coming through. Cryptic's going to sit in here and wait for his teammates to make kills all around him, and that works out perfectly, though. Only Exceed staying alive, and eventually he gets traded out. Noisy at the back, but with nowhere to go, as Kaiser's on a 5 streak. And this will move Electrify Steel further into the advantage. And now trying to hold off what will probably be one last push from Iron Blood Gaming before they give up and go river.
Oh, Kaiser one off again. It's been so close for Electrify Steel. Seems like they are getting a couple of different sprees going on. They seem to be a little bit more dominant on the kill feed side of things. Iron Blood Gaming, though, for the side of Assault 3 and 12, we need to see more. Usually, you know, we try not to talk about KD too much, but I feel like when it comes down to Bocage, I feel like it matters just a little bit more in terms of those engagements, just getting those trades because of how crazy it is. You need to be participating. 3 and 13 is barely doing that.
Well, you can see right now. Welly trying to just hold down any river controls. He knows he's ended up losing that L control himself. Exceed's going to try and get there and cut off these players. As he sits tunnel, there is a little bit of pressure coming in from the top by the tower here, but it will be at the moment be Blood, who still are winning these gunfights left, right, and center. I tell you something, all the positioning in the world isn't going to matter. I say that, but never mind. Mind is in a perfect position to just cut Blood completely down with a 3-piece. I was about to say, if you can't win your gunfights against Blood, it's not going to matter, but he does.
Fantastic stuff. Mind locking that one down, and well, for all that good work that Mind has done, it has been undone. Fantastic retake by Ironblood Gaming. The spawns over towards the back, more beneficial for them. Now I'm going to head into the second rotation if they do pick up the rest of this scrap time with around a 12-point deficit. Not too bad for them, to be honest with you. It has felt like Electrify Steel have been heating up just that little bit more. But here and there, we have seen some big moments from Ironblood Gaming. Rotations have been okay from them. Let's see if they can step it up here once more. Noisy was on a 3-spree. Does go down. Electrify Steel garnering control of that first hill. Looking to keep a hold of the spawns that they have over towards P2. Assault going to try and do something about that from here.
He's just trying to hold this down at the moment. He's going to actually go out and challenge early as well, and does manage to get it on here. And not had an awful lot of kills in that first rotation ton, to be fair. Only 6 for him, but now going to look to kind of step it up as he has that MP40 in hand and is dancing around P1.
Yeah, trying his best. Will fall down. Seems like a while ago that, you know, Assault was back in amongst that. I remember when he was first exploding onto the scene. Haven't necessarily seen much from him the past couple of years. He has been in and about the challenger side of things, though, consistent over here. And they get things going for his team. 8 and 17 out of him, but still the game is close. Mine's having a hell of a game at 21 and 16. Electrify Steel, though. A couple of times just maybe haven't picked up as much time as they would have liked. Ironblood Gaming, very, I want to say, what's the word I want to use? Very tough in the resolve so far. Good shots coming in from Noisy, though. Azuli now trying to find the break. Noisy will find a third, and Ironblood punch their way through the front door.
You can see as this kind of takes into a completely even game, and eventually Blood take the lead. They're waiting for it, but perfect 9 grenades straight onto the top of his dome. And it's all going to be kills for Blood here, but they're not going to try and get time right yet as Assault just patiently waits for that last player to chow. The spawns have flipped, and it does mean Blood are going to have to think about going right now. He's looking towards the back. Obviously, he's waiting for his teammates to call it out, but the fact there hasn't been any kills in the kill feed means he doesn't know it's flipped yet. Now they know.
Oh, Uli does find that final couple of moments through to try and find that break in this rotation gunfight that went down. It was actually Cryptic who managed to find a kill. That's going to get the spawns over towards Electrify Steel, even though that lead has transferred over to Ironblood Gaming. Can't lock these kills down, though. That's a big kill from Assault. Now the rest of the team can start to filter through. Uli may well just jump out the window and just maybe try and cause a bit of a surprise here. Well, he will be the first to fall, but Kaiser's done so well inside the point. Just about held on. Noisy nearly fell as well, but he's the only one who can answer back. And you see immediately Electrify Steel expand their wings out. Kaiser on a 5-spree. Keep an eye on that.
Well, this is becoming a very, very close and tense game. Both teams really putting in the work here to just go back and forth on every single hard point. And you can see Cryptic with it too as they both trade coming into this one at the same time. I have no idea who's going to walk away the winner as Kaiser eventually gets it. And they have the spawn as well. Cryptic with the Molly kill. And it looks like we're just going to jump onto our own observer. Don't worry, we're going to still be rocking and rolling with this. At the moment, Electrify Steel will take the lead. And they're going for this rotation ton. They're in a very good position for this.
Cryptic trying his best here. As everybody seems to be, unfortunately, dropping out of the lobby. Not ideal, but a close game now. I'd imagine that one will have to be restarted nonetheless. Electrify Steel's seemingly the better rotational and locking things down side of things, but Fire and Blood in that scenario, you know, they're not too far off. That's the thing. They can keep it relatively close by just being a bit scrappy, if you like. And yeah, they'll be relatively happy with a restart, I would imagine. And I'd presume that's probably what we're going to go with. We'll get that news over to you very, very shortly. But yeah, I think both teams are relatively happy with the performance so far in map number 1, I would say.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point I was going to make myself. Like, realistically, when that game started to break down, it was basically neck and neck, and neither team really was able to lock down a hill for very, very long or get any sort of control. I think the only time we really saw it was maybe the first rotation P2, and you saw them push right out for it. But after that, everybody was basically trying back and forth. Like, we would put out mine, realistically. Like, I thought, yeah, they'd got back control, they'd got L control, and then all of a sudden, he makes a 3-piece, and everything that they had done right just didn't mean anything. Yeah,
I know. It just seems to be... They find those moments when they maybe need to be a little bit cleaner, I would say, but I think it's very hard on Bakash to do that at the same time. I think it's hard to be perfect fundamentally in Hardpoint when it does come down to the cage. But look, I think both teams had their moments here and there, so we'll see how things are going to play its way out. I'd imagine it is going to be a full restart for map number 1, at least I would say anyway. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, but I'll maybe not confirm that, because we've done this before, haven't we? When it does come down to refereeing decisions, we're not the ones trying to make these. We're not the ones.
Well, no, you say we. You say we. I always,
It's always me.
err on the side of caution. You just like going out there and just calling things and hoping they're realistically right. And we've been burned by it way too many times, but we are waiting for this lobby to get started. So I want to talk about it. Something you pointed out to me earlier, Ton, actually. And now I can't stop seeing it. And I would never have seen it if you hadn't have told me the fact that you managed to get yourself a sunglasses stand. Like, I just can't
Why
stop
did you
looking
feel
at
like
it.
you
Like
had to
that
point that
line
out?
there. Because like
You
I
know
can't stop
what?
seeing it now.
Well, Bryce, honestly, like I am a person who tans very well. I was in Paris for a weekend celebrating my 30th birthday. These things happen. These things happen.
Yeah, I don't really have a leg to stand on here. Obviously, I look like Casper the Friendly Caster at
do.
this point. But while we've gone a little bit off topic, what we are going to do is we're going to get our admins to find out what's going on. Obviously, a decision has to be made and all our teams have to get back in the lobby. So rather than us listen to about sunglasses and tans, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have all the info for you. Don't go anywhere. This is Call of Duty Challengers Elite.
I'm so exhausted, I needed the energy, needed to pick me up. I'm in your movie, but this is my cinema. I got the power, I'm built to devour. Anyone coming against me, a tower. I don't cave in the pressure. Some of y'all leaving here in a stretcher. Took my time to go and get better. I was reading in the red letters. Ay, hit me with your best shot. I got time today. Feeling like a matador with that Red Bull. Oh no, you can't stop me. I'm running my own play. For the game win, I came to pin anything that gets in my way. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. We been here, we done that. We done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that. We done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. I'm in the game like EA. Been in my prime since pre-K. Shooting my shot from long range. Going over here's a good toupee. Treat every day like payday. Y'all been living so mundane. My work week is Sunday to oh wait, that's every day. Putting in overtime. Punching the clock, I'ma get what's mine. While everyone's sleeping, I'm living my dreams. I got a coin that's so divine. Lord, take the wheel like 10 and 2. I'm losing energy, I'm overdue. I've been on the top ropes, hitting my pros. Watch me hit the power moves. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Been here, we done that. We done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that. We done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Tune back into the music. You know how to do this. Don't second guess, just not a test. It's not a race, no black or white. Everything's great. No yesterday, never tomorrow. Only the present, that is your gift. It benefits you only if open. Everyone's chosen, beauty of choice. You can stay silent, forget your voice. You can malign them, hold a grudge, or stand before judge. Just stay in your case. Top of the notion that you were just a mere drop in the ocean. This is your moment, fear is a Trojan horse. Will you open or close your doors? Just when you feel like it's too much, just when you feel like you've had enough, take a step back from the edge and take a deep breath. Dance like you'll never, dance like you'll never, dance like you'll never, dance like you'll never, ever gonna live again. Sometimes you don't like where you live, sometimes you don't really like your kids, sometimes you grow out of your friends, sometimes it's your fault, just admit it. Finger point in the mirror, 3-point back, that's the tearjerker. You can wallow in sorrows, depressed of the past, afraid of the unknown tomorrow, or you can just live in the now. We all trying to figure it out. The rhythm inside of your chest that's keeping you moving, that's the solution. The ball on the floor is hard to ignore, endorphin rush will flush your brains while you dance your pain away. Just when you feel like it's too much, just when you feel like you've had enough, take a step back from the edge and take a deep breath. Dance like you'll never, dance like you'll never, dance like you'll never, dance like you'll never, ever gonna live again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Call of Duty Challenges Elite. I bet you thought we had gone for good, but we have returned, and we're going straight back into Electrified Steel versus Ironblood Gaming. If you've forgotten what happened, there is a full reset going on. So this is map number 1, Bacage Hardpoint. And last time around, it was a very close game between the two. My name is Bryce, joining me here, of course, Chris Dunn.
Thank you very much, Bryce. I'm excited to get back into this one. Of course, somebody having their wicked way with the servers. Clearly don't want either of us to sleep before 7 a.m. today, so they thought to themselves, yeah, okay, let's get amongst it. But anyway, we're back into it. That's the important thing. And let's see how Bacage is going to go. Electrify Steel were the ones in the lead. Ironblood Gaming was just kind of scrappily fighting their way through it. Let's see how things are going to change after a half an hour, 45-minute break for both these two teams. Are they going to be coming in hot?
Oh, that's the key thing here, realistically. Last time around, both teams trading left, right, and center all over Bacage. This time, though, Ironblood actually being able to get a bit of an advantage for this one. They have the spawn locked in for P2, and Electrify Steel really struggling to get anywhere near it or get the points on the board.
Ironblood, really good start. Nicely done. That rotation was very, very nice. They got control of back tin and have completely locked down the barn since then. Exceed. Big reason for that. 6 and 4 so far. Plenty of engagements to kick things off on Bacage and not to be unexpected. Mind with the challenge, mind with the gunny. And is that going to be potentially the catalyst for, well, what will only be a final 12 seconds? So really, they want to get the rotation on.
Well, you can see at the moment they're having enough fun getting all the P2 locked in and loaded. But the rotation coming through, and they are not missing. It may have been a little bit of a calling your jets for those waiting for this game to regain, but not for Ironblood Gaming. They have come in firing on all cylinders, including Assault, who's doing much better than first time around. And while they're trying to lock this spawn coming through, you can already see a bit of points going for Electrify Steel. Will this continue, though, as they fight for dominance around the back spawns?
Yeah, Assault saying God bless the servers, because this is a second chance at what was a very poor start for him in the previous. Better from Electrify Steel, and that's 4 dead. So now they can expand out a little bit, get some control, and hopefully keep Ironblood Gaming away. 30 seconds to go here on this hill. Shots coming in and plenty of bullets Uli's way. Staying alive is important as Assault will find one on his way in, but Kaiser and Co just trying their best to lock this one down. Kaiser with the control around the outside. Noisy's the only one who can answer back, and it looks like Ironblood not going to be able to find a breakthrough. Electrify Steel in themselves. Trading blows here. It's both come down to rotations, going their way, and then locking the hill down well.
Yeah, I've got to say that is a massive comeback from Steel. They have managed to bring this one back pretty nicely as well for what was a poor start. And now as we head over towards Barn, it will get a little bit more chaotic for the two teams as they both fight through, let's face it, a hardpoint that has about 1 billion entrances, and Kaiser's on a 5 streak as well. And they have finally found their footing in this game.
Barn control going to be very, very crucial, of course, for the Barn hardpoint. Analyst, you know. Noisy and Coda want to make sure they lock down the left-hand side. Make sure you can try and force them away. It's a hard point to rack up too much time on. Well, notoriously, it has been one of the ones where you find a lot of score does go down between these two teams, but it's really, really difficult to get it going. But once you can, find yourself a clear out, get a good idea of where they're spawning, you can force them away. Good angles coming in here from Noisy. You find the shots into Kaiser. Could he surely not find the kill on the Cryptic? Doesn't need to. The rest of his team are there to help. Mind is able to find someone down the outside, but it's about the foot race over towards P5 now. There's going to be Welly all the way over there. He's locking it down.
They are, but at the moment, whether or not they can hold this is a very different matter. You can already see Noisy punching through, and he's going to be able to get that kill as well. You see, he gets 2 at the same time, and this, what could have been a lock here all the way towards the river hardpoint, has been broken, and I say that, but spawns pay the bills. As you can see already, Ironblood were not able to hold on to that advantage, and now still be looking to try and get some control in this hill once they've rebuffed all of this pressure.
Staying alive up top here for really is so crucial. Goes for the challenge. I think they knew exactly where he was. Cryptic and himself are the ones that need to stay alive. Both of them now drop the challenge inside the site. Looks like a hell of a gunfight between Mind and Exceed. Mind finds 2 before he does go down. A valiant effort is the rest of Ironblood now. Inside the point. Electrify Steel trying to come in off the respawn. The grenades are really good though. And Cryptic can then walk on through. Take a grenade himself. 6 HP and a dream. 15 seconds to go. It's been scrappy so far. Much better from Ironblood Gaming than what we've seen in that first game, though. Of course, the restart coming on through. It's definitely been better for them, though. Being able to hold the hills when they have been able to get control of them, but so have Electrify Steel. The rotation's up slightly in Ironblood's favour.
So now we come back to P1 here, and you know what? The difference isn't that far between each other realistically, and I've got to say, it was kind of a great start for Ironblood Gaming, but they haven't capitalised on it as much as they could do, and part of that reason is just because of the cars, right? It can be this very mixy game over and over again. And while they're trying to bleed and soak time towards that P1 hill, it's not really about P1, but you shouldn't really be able to get this many points on it. At the moment, they are completely and totally... Oh, wow. It does. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well. That does not bode well.
Hey, mind, you can do this. 1v4, 0 versus 4. It could still be all aboard here. Iron Blood Gaming, they're running away with it. And I say that as he evaporates his teammate from the map. And I was having fun with that. You should just let me keep going.
Third time's the charm?
Sometimes it's a little bit good. Sometimes it's... should have just left it up. I would have kept going. I would have been all good.
You know what? I actually have no doubt. I have no doubt. You definitely had caffeine before this, didn't you?
I am basically like 90% caffeine at all times.
All the time.
And the last 10% is terrible hair. So that's actually why my hair's like this. It's just constantly shocked off the top of my head from what's running through my blood vessels. It's like, oh my God, this is outrageous. This guy shouldn't be alive. But as obviously we've kind of gone onto a tangent here on this one, we will find out what's going on with this game. Our second practice on Bocage Hardpoint obviously had Iron Blood leading at that point, but this is the time now where we say we leave it to the wonderful admins, production, and league ops to figure everything out. Because as casters, our only job is to talk, but we can't talk about something we don't know about yet. So we're going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll fill you in with everything. What is happening here on Challengers Elite? We'll see you in just a few minutes.
I'm too exhausted, I needed the energy, needed to pick me up. I'm in your movie, but this is my cinema. I got that power, I'm built to devour. Anyone coming against me, I tower. I don't cave in the pressure. Some of y'all leaving here in the stretcher. Took my time to go and get better. I was reading in the red letters. Ay, hit me with your best shot. I got time today. Feeling like a matador with that Red Bull. Oh no, you can't stop me. I'm running my own play. For the game win, I came to pin anything that gets in my way. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Been here, we done that. We done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that. We done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. I'm in the game like EA. Been in my prime since pre-K. Shooting my shot from long range. Going over heads like a toupee. Treat every day like payday. Y'all been living so mundane. My work week is Sunday to oh wait, that's every day. Putting in overtime. Punching the clock, I'ma get what's mine. While everyone's sleeping, I'm living my dreams. I got a coin that's so divine. Lord, take the wheel like 10 and 2. I'm losing energy, I'm overdue. I've been on the top ropes, hitting my pros. Watch me hit the power moves. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Been here, we done that. We done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that. We done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty Challenge Elite, and this is third time's the charms. We are joining us now for Electrify Steel versus Iron Blood Gaming. My name is Bryce. Joining me here is Chris Tunn. You probably know this already, but this game is back onto Picard's Hardpoint. Let's find out on this one how the two teams get on, Tunn.
We go again. I can't remember what the score was when we ended things last time around. I feel like Iron Blood were in
140,
the lead.
100?
First time we played. Yeah. Iron Blood were in the lead. Electrify Steel were the ones who were in the lead the first time that we crashed. So who's going to be in the lead this time? No, we're not going to. It's going to go all the way to the end, and we're going to figure out who is the better Picard Hardpoint team between these two squads. And so far, so good for Mind. This guy, for me, has kind of been that player who has been a standout throughout the, about 15 minutes of Picard that we have seen so far. Can he continue to do it for another 10 or 12 minutes here?
Well, I'm kind of curious, actually. Mind is currently on a 4 streak. Make that a 5 streak. Probably looking for streaks himself. And as that ticks into P2, you can see he might try and get somebody off the rip here. This is usually very, very powerful, but they've done it before, and he isn't going to be able to get it. Goes out aggressive, but they're waiting for him. I suppose the amount of practice they've had on Picard just kind of let them read that a little bit easier. And now a lot of pressure coming on. Iron Blood Gaming streaming up the map, looking to get into P2.
Yeah, Exceed's managed to find a route through here. Welly over towards the God-heady tank. It is a horrible... Okay, never mind. It's an easy gunfight for Kaiser. Absolute beams from him. Can he find the shots up into top barn? Not quite. Good retake here from Iron Blood Gaming, considering the position that we're in and considering how well Mind started things off here. Fighting from the front foot, fighting their way all the way through. Exceed's been a big proponent to that break as well. 2 in a row from him, soaking up the points. Rotational battles ongoing already, though, with 13 seconds left to go.
That's a big actual break there in the end. A little bit of scrap time going towards Electrify Steel, and this is where it gets interesting. You can see the spawn coming. Iron Blood are all spawning river. They're not spawning in. They're going to be calling that, knowing they don't have the spawns for next, and trying to make their way through. Kaiser has no idea somebody's going to be behind him. And somehow still stays alive at the end. Eventually ends up calling it through, but Noisy will take 2 regardless. And Iron Blood will get the spawns.
They will get the spawns. Nicely done. Managed to find that break, and all of a sudden this is looking a little bit better for them. 6 spree for Welly, and unfortunately can't quite find that 7th to get the glide bomb, which can be so influential on this map. Getting yourself a hold of spawns, especially over towards P5, is often where it is going to be used. But this push now is going to be completely shut down. Exceed does find 2. It's only a 3-for-1 trade in the favor of Iron Blood. Make that all 4 dead momentarily. How about the rotation over towards Bond? Who's going to be there first? Is this time still being soaked up by Iron Blood? They picked up the majority, if not every single second here. Very well played as we head over towards P4.
All right, now you can see they are both posturing for position. It will be Iron Blood. You have that first little bit of control, and he ends up killing his own teammate. Well, he takes out Exceed as Exceed flies out of barn, but he has found a second kill for it. Early he's going to go challenge him, but that's going to be a stun in the face, and Cryptic will eventually pick it up here. And now in come Electrify Steel. They're looking for this. They know they have numbers for it. Mine picks up a first kill at the same time, but he's going to go change here, and they have got a perfectly clean wipe, taking all of Iron Blood Gaming completely out and flipping the spawn all the way to tower.
Yeah, you've done very, very well there. 35 seconds remaining, so you won't be too concerned about those spawns over towards tower right now. You'll have another opportunity to flip those when this push does come on through. Iron Blood managed to find themselves a way through. There's a couple of contest spots here. Can they continue to do so? Assault's going to be the first one to find a kill back. Picking up the points here now. Keep an eye on the spawns. Iron Blood still spawning the side that they want to be on, but not picking up points right now. 4 in a row for Cryptic. Can he find any more? Those fall already, sorry, and spawn in time, Iron Blood soaking up the best amount of time that we've seen. I think most of it obviously comes in over towards P3. They've got the spawns here over towards P5, towards the River Dock, and Welly winning gunfights like that's always going to help things. This rotation has been very, very solid. The streak doesn't quite continue, but good play from Iron Blood. That's a solid rotation out of them over towards P5.
Yeah, and Welly on a 5 streak as well. May now try and slow this one down and see if he can get that streak coming in at the same time. Funny enough, River is probably the best place for it. But at the moment, they've lost a little bit of pressure, so you can see Noisy actually ends up backing out of the hill there and away from Ty. Now going to challenge Mind as well, takes him down. And while they have control, they are going to be looking to kind of solidify that before they jump back in.
25 seconds remaining here with the spawns from Electrify Steel towards the back. It kind of deters you from jumping on that point. There's this little bowl where grenades just tend to collect, so you've got to be very, very careful. Those angles are as well and very easy to hold for Electrify Steel. But for all that, Iron Blood cannot get inside the point. Neither can Electrify Steel, so you take that when you're in the lead. Heading into a second rotation, it is a solid lead for Iron Blood. I think it's just been the case for me. The rotations from them have been much better. They've won those rotational gunfights on the way to the new hills 9 times out of 10 so far, and that is why it's resulted in about a 50-point lead.
Yeah, and again, standard P1 play coming in from both teams here. They will attempt to soak if they can get a few kills going their way, and yes, Ironblood do so. So they choose that opportunity to join onto it at the same time as Noisy takes down Cryptic, completely wiping him off the field here. And now they're setting up. Well, he's going to try and destroy everybody off the respawn, but there's just too many bodies for him to shoot here as Noisy flies in to do the exact same thing. And they know now they've got this down, they can kind of push the tempo a little bit, soaking everything they can on P1, but also pushing out as that spawn will not flip without a member of Electrify still there.
Oh, and you know what? Ironblood are doing a really good job of keeping them away. Fantastic stuff. They're going to pick up a decent amount of time there as well. If they can find another wave of kills, that could be absolutely huge on their rotation over towards P2, which they are going to win. But the kills do come through for Electrify Steel. They really did need to. Things getting a little bit scary, but if you line up for Exceed like that, they get even scarier. Ironblood can now force their way out. Exceed's going to start running at you on a fire spree. Probably wants to try and preserve that a little bit. 2 more would be very, very nice indeed. There's number 1. Looking for number 2 with a challenge over towards the stairs, or his grandma's just all his. Looks that way. It's another gunfight for a glide bomb that goes the opposite direction. But nonetheless, it is a 100-point lead for Ironblood Gaming.
Yeah, they are really turning up this hard point, and you can see now Electrify still need some sort of massive push back into this game, and that might just be it. Already going to get the scrap time for this one. They have kind of pushed them out of P2, but it's not just P2. They've got to get this, and then they've got to get a good rotation in to bring themselves back into some sort of level playing field.
We talked about Mind at the beginning of this game. I think it was 8 kills or so to 1 death. 13 and 19 really has slowed down. Ironblood, very, very strong stats on everybody so far. Finding those engagements, they're happy to admit defeat on that second hill. They've rotated around towards P3, but Uli and Mind combining well. Those 2 opening kills are going to be important, but Uli on a 6 spree. Could this be the fire that reignites it? Kaiser's going to be the one that finds that 7th. Or is it here for Uli now? The challenge may come in, or is he just going to wait for Exceed? Yes, he is. There you go. Glide bomb in his back pocket. That's going to be very, very useful in a couple of hills' time.
Well, this is what they need, but they need to play flawless time. I'll tell you something, Bacard is not one of those maps where it's easy to keep hitting rotation after rotation. It can become very, very mixy, and scrap time becomes a factor, and that's what they're dealing with now. Look, they thought they had a good hold, and then they get pushed out. It's so difficult to grab onto that hard point and not let go, because they just can't afford to. You can already see them trying to lock in some semblance of a rotation, but Exceed has slipped the net. Exceed is all the way towards the back, and that's going to cause them problems, because the pinch is now coming in for Ironblood.
Managed to find those breaks. Very well done. Clawing their way back into this one, Brycey. Just about those rotation, but the problem is, for them, they cannot allow too much contest time here. It starts to get into a scary territory. Is that... The glide bomb's going to be invested there. I'm not too sure about that for Electrify Steel. I would have maybe waited until a hill where you feel like you can pick up a decent amount of time with a break, but nonetheless, that break's going to come through. That's going to be 4 dead. So whatever happened with the glide bomb, it didn't find anybody. It's forced players away, and all of a sudden they've got a hold of the point. But the spawns, it doesn't seem like they were expecting it here. Ironblood are on the way in.
Well, I say that, but Uli's managed to get 2. Welly will eventually take him down, and they are trying to get back into this one, Ironblood. And they have got bodies in here as well. Somehow Welly ends up winning out and find not the second against Cryptic, though. And they're waiting for this. Was Noisy gets in. This is the issue again on Bacage. Just so much trading going back and forth. It's hard to get any sort of real control going down. Electrify still, though. Still in the presence of potentially clawing this one back, but they've got to break river.
They can break it through the tunnel. Kaiser worms his way through. Noisy ready and waiting on the other side. Surprise, surprise. Uli could do some damage here. He's put himself in a position where the rest of his team can jump on the point, but he has to point guard as best as he can. Welly and Noisy have dealt with them, though. And now here comes the engagement. Welly now with that glide bomb as well, so that's going to help them out. 204 to 133. Still a mountain to climb for Electrify Steel here.
Oh, Welly going to try and hold this cut here. We know they're going to be flying through grannies at the same time, and Mine comes out to challenge him and says goodbye. With 19 health left, he has to play this a little bit careful. He also gets Welly there with a... He gets Cryptic, sorry, with a stun grenade. That's a 3 times for him. And now he's looking for this player. He knows he's in hill behind the boat. Bangs it as well. That's FMJ coming into play. It doesn't actually see Mine, but kind of second guesses himself. And I will tell you this, Ton, Electrify Steel have not done a bad job.
They really haven't. Not in a bad spot now, all things considered. 5 seconds remaining on that hill. It looked like a lot of time would have been going over towards Iron Blood Gaming and pretty much the game. Now it's about a 70-pointer. Still a really bad spot, don't get it twisted. But it's becoming a little bit more achievable as time goes on, and the more that early starts to heat up, the more that things get a little bit more dangerous for Iron Blood. They're not in the spot they want to be in here. They can force them back, Iron Blood Gaming, and also think about the rotation over towards P2 very, very shortly.
Well, this is it. This is basically make or break time now for Electrify Steel. Last time around, if you remember P1, Iron Blood were all about this hill. And Electrify Steel basically have to do what they did, but a little bit better. You see Welly, though, going to be pushing for this barn control. And again, I feel like I'm harping on about this point more than once, Ton, but once you get into this position of Electrify Steel, it does mean you can't really apply the pressure you want to. There's to be so careful about P2. There's to be so careful about the time on P1, whereas Iron Blood can play a bit more loose and fast. They've already done that by ignoring P1 and going straight for the spawns for next. And this might not even end there. This may end on time alone.
It's looking that way. Iron Blood closer to that timer running out than they are to the 250 mark, and that's what they're going to try and do, just keep them off it. Now for the side of Electrify Steel, they're going to have to get inside of it as best as they can. That's actually momentarily 4 dead. They can get into the point, but 12 seconds remaining on the game clock, and when it comes down to it, on this map, those contests can come in time and time again, and on top of the contest, here comes a glide bomb. Cryptic, we'll see you later. Uli has to get inside the point, 9 seconds remaining on the game clock.
Oh, this is so bad. Just a contest could end this game for them as well. And they've done so well for it. You can't even afford to leave the hill. You have to jump back in. This game will end. There's no positioning for you, any kind of difference. And you could very, very easily lose it just here at the same time. They're going to try and keep it away. Noisy might end up trying to get it. He's on the contest spot at the same time. That time's ticking down. It means Uli has to run through as well. And they've got off the point and the game's going to end on time. They can't even get there. And Iron Blood Gaming walk away with the win. Electrify Steel, they were doing such a great job to come back, but it was too little and literally too late.
216, no, won it. I think you're right. You know, they did do a good job at bringing it back, but ultimately the damage was done when you're over 100 points behind. It's very, very difficult on Bakash to bring that kind of deficit back. And then I think the scoreline maybe flatters them just a little bit towards the end. I think the comeback was decent, but I knew, and everybody else knew, what Iron Blood were doing there when they did the correct thing. They stayed off the point, got themselves in a spot where they could just keep them away, and that was the best thing. It was the most efficient thing to do, and Iron Blood get the job done. Overall, just great rotations out of them, I would say. A couple of occasions they won multiple gunfights on the rotation, and I think it was Welly on the first time around that did a great job. Exceed here, you can see doing the same thing. Just dropping kills multiple times at the right times. Fantastic stuff out of Iron Blood. A very well-deserved map number 1.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I think Electrify Steel just made an incredible comeback. Like a little bit more time on the clock, but that's the issue. That we said it before, right? If you get into that kind of position, it can be incredibly difficult to make the comeback because you have to play a lot flawless. The benefit being is the other team can start to panic if you come back an awful lot, but yeah, that P2, they didn't have... Essentially what I was trying to describe is because the clock was running down, it meant Electrify Steel couldn't really push out. Like, most teams would have pushed out Barn there once they got a few kills down and tried to stop the other team getting close to get more time on the hill and allow their teammates to come back and reinforce them. Electrify Steel couldn't have that because the simple reason they had to stay put. Their position meant they couldn't really challenge anything they wanted to. They couldn't prevent the other team from pushing up. And eventually, Iron Blood Gaming, obviously a player, I think it might have been Noisy, just jumped on the hill and said, hey, you've got to come get me out of this now before the game ends. And then they had to sprint in the open, in essence, to try and stop it happening. And yeah, and then unfortunately, that's the rub. No matter how great your comeback is, if you don't have the time to make it, it doesn't work.
No, absolutely not. Iron Blood Gaming. Fantastic job out of them. Well, 37 and 26. A brilliant game. Bakash out of him. Most damage in the lobby as well. Fantastic stuff from him and Assault. And considering, you know, Assault had a really bad start to the first time that we played Bakash, nice to see him get himself back on the leaderboard. Very, very well played. Plenty of damage down from both of those players. Heading to map number 2 very, very shortly. Apologies to you guys at home for the delay. Just a casual 2 hours into the show now. We've done one map, but that's how it be sometimes.
Hey, we've done this map 3 times. It's been great every time, Tom. Every single time.
It's been very close.
It's been glorious.
It's been very, very close. Going to be jumping into Bakash again. There you go. Search and Destroy going to be coming up shortly for our 4th iteration of Bakash. Then we'll have building control if we need them. Give 2 and Desert Siege on maps 4 and 5. Hardpoint and Search and Destroy, of course. Wow, it actually feels like a lifetime ago as that I started describing what I thought was quite a strange map set.
Yeah, I remember that actually quite fondly answers ago. But I think for me, this entire map set show that just both. Oh, and okay, I'm gonna give some silver lining to this. I'm gonna give some positives to the delays. The fact that because we've seen these teams now 3 times on Bakash Hardpoint, and we've seen both teams leading. We've seen it very, very close on multiple rotations. I think we can safely say that these 2 teams are pretty evenly matched on that map. Like, if we played it again for a 4th time, we're not going to, don't worry. But if we did, and, you know, it went the other way, it went to Electrify Steel, it wouldn't surprise me because of what we've seen.
No, it wouldn't. It really wouldn't. I'm interested to see a Berlin control as well again. I like to learn about it every time, and I think playing it's one thing. It's when you watch it and you see the spawns and start to understand it a little bit more. I honestly feel like casting it makes me better at it, which maybe says a lot about my COD gameplay, if anything. Curious when we get there, of course, but Gavutu, if we do need it, and Desert Siege are going to be interesting as well. Assault with a much better game there than what we've seen on the first go at it, of course, so that might bode well for the Gavutu, but yeah, Bakash Search and Destroy. Let's see how things are going to break down here. About those engagements, and it's about those fast starts, of course. Curious to see how the setups are going to work down when it does come down towards A, which is still very much the preferred bomb site. Is there going to be somebody towards back tank? Are they going to stack the stairs, stack grandmas? There's a couple of different ways you can play it now.
Yeah, I do like the change, and I feel like it almost got kind of forgotten after everything that happened. It was like a massive change to begin with, and then like 2 days later, nobody really spoke about it anymore. But the changes just change the dynamic of this map because it allows so much kind of players to play around A now. Like, obviously B can get done, but it's like the player watching River, and then you have basically 2 teams trying to break down this puzzle that is Grandma's and figure out, right, our needs have to be used, our tentacles have to be used for information. We have to figure out exactly where that other team is sitting, and essentially a lot of the time it does come down to that information, right? If you can figure out where they are with your grenades, it allows you the confidence to push forward. If you can't find it out, that's when you usually see teams either rotate or try to go inside and figure out where the team is from there.
Hopefully we get to see some of these tactics that Bryce is coming up with. You should be a coach, mate.
Nah.
No, just no. Flat out no.
I think I'm good at managing people. I'm not so sure if telling pro strategies is really going to come down for it in my skill set. I've managed crews of workers in high pressure situations, but as my thumbs aren't great, so I feel like it kind of doesn't give me the full legitimacy of like a strategical coach. But you know, I can manage people pretty well.
Okay. I mean, if you is this your moment in the spotlight to
just start coaching? Yeah, I'm just gonna give up casting. No, it's fine. I'm now going for a coaching position. No one's offered me one. I'm just gonna go for it and just start coaching on the outside and hope for the best, essentially. But what about yourself, Tan? Do you think you could be a great? Can't even get through the sentence. Do you think you'd be a good coach?
Do you think I could be a good coach?
No.
You know
I think the only thing you could coach players on is where to get nice coffee. I think that's your entire wheelhouse.
Yeah, and you know what? And they would be very well cracked at all points, wouldn't they? So would that make me a good coach? I'd argue it would. I'd be there for the vibes, mate.
The vibes.
Vibes coach.
That infamous coaching
coach.
Position, the vibe coach.
Yes, the vibe coach.
Is it wrong? Is it wrong that is genuinely still a thing? That's still a thing.
Yeah. Do you see? I feel like I fill that role quite well. It's a role that doesn't need to exist, so why not?
Well, I'm sure the chat and the social medias will have something to say about that one. But before we get too far down what our skill sets could be, let's talk about this game. The S&D is now coming up. And we are jumping on board with Uli. And at the moment, they are doing that exact thing I spoke about, trying to figure out the information here. Mine, keeping an eye on that A-bomb site in case somebody pushes. Noisy, sitting on the corner.
Oh. Noisy, looking just through the cracks. He's trying to see the spot. He knows Uli's going to be out there, but does he know that Mind is? That's the problem. It's a risky spot to be in, but here they go. The break's going to start coming down through. There'll be plenty of noise being made. Goes for the challenge. It was an obvious bait. Noisy will fall, and all of a sudden, control of Grandma's belongs to Electrify Steel.
And Exceed gets that first kill through. And looking for it as well. That's an incredible fast pace they're setting as this goes down to a 2 versus 2. Assault looking trying to figure out where they are now sitting as well. Obviously, we can see on the Codcaster vision. So what's about to go down. Mine finds the search one, knows where Assault is going to be as well. I don't know if he takes this fight, you know. Doesn't need to. Just baits him out ready.
Does not need to. If that was ranked player, you're challenging that, right?
Oh, 100%. But I'm probably also losing it 100%. But yeah, that was the right move. Just kind of shoulder it, keep that information flowing to the teammate, let them take that kill down. If you didn't have the teammate, you back off, you head river, you either go tunnel, which is probably the less likely, or you wrap the entire way back round and figure something out. But yeah, I managed to break that one down pretty nicely. Electrify Steel, though, Mind with 3 kills in that round.
Nicely done from Mind. Finds that opening, and then a couple more around the back of Grandma's. Nicely done. Where's that grenade going to land? Well, absolutely nowhere, because Iron Blue Gamer have absolutely flown it up, but Minders just went to fly right back at it. Uli will find 2. Well played inside of Grandma's. That's big, big kills. Salt then going to fall with the bomb as well. Electrify Steel. Just looking sensational here in this Search and Destroy, and that's a Picage S&D round over in an instant.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was actually incredibly fast. But sometimes when you come in with an aggressive hit like that, that's what ends up happening. And Kaiser will get that kill all the way there on the back. It's a great kind of combination of the players to get their minds back into this. 2-0 already up on the S&D. After what must have been a disappointing hardpoint with the resets that come in, they probably feel a little bit cheated. Obviously, it can't be helped. But now they are looking very, very confident.
Let's see if we can get a 3rd round on the board here. Well, he having to back down to get a little bit of information there. I wonder. Zuli and Co completely take over the B site. This one will go down. Oh, or will it?
Well, not quite. As both teams end up kind of finding their feet, and essentially that kills go down, and now they have to back off. Electrify Steel looking for it. Mine knows where Assault's going to be, but he's in a little bit of trouble. Now all left alone. 1 versus 3. Going to challenge his first player. Finds him as well. Takes the auto before it even hits the ground. And they're looking for him. Noisy and Exceed. Essentially just laying a little bit of a trap. And they're both going to double chat him. They know he's left. He has no idea they're on his tail.
Getting across is going to be his problem here, isn't it? They're going to spot him surely. Did the shots rain out? Not quite. They know exactly where he is, though. He has absolutely no information, but he is somehow surviving as long as he did. Iron Blood will eventually get around on the board. 2-1 now. Electri Steel much better here in the Search and Destroy.
They are, and unfortunately, you just couldn't get away. Like, it's one of those, essentially, where you just don't have an awful lot of opportunities to get anything really done when the team have an idea of where you are. And I thought for a second he might do it once he managed to get out of there, but they were just too close on hunting, and they kind of knew his next move.
Where's the hit going to go this time around? Electri Steel aggressive once more. Iron Blood Game, and look like they're ready for this, though. Noisy position, but seems as if Electrify Steel just backed off just a little bit. My Mind will find the first pick onto Noisy. That's bombed down as well. Crucial.
So he's going to try and get through here, and Cryptic does see him, and now has to run around, and eventually will get down. And I wonder if Iron Blood Gaming, that was a wise move. I know you're man down, but there was nobody there for that trade, nobody to watch over him. Assault and Kaiser are about to go head-to-head, but eventually goes down to Mind as well. And it's been a little bit disconjointed here for them. Well, he's going to find Mind, and now they know where he is. A 1 versus 4, maybe a stretch too far as they come hunting. He finds Cryptic, but he's not going to get his own trade. And Electrify still get another point on the board, Tom.
Yep, nicely done. The aggression comes out. They don't find anything aggressive coming up from the other side of Iron Blood. And then they just wait. That first gunfight comes and falls their way, and then they just roll over the rest of Iron Blood and the rest of the round. Nicely done. And so the next round, though, what's the tactic going to be here? It has changed up a couple of times for some of these players as Welly and Co looking to get themselves on the board that little bit more. Already with a 1-0 lead here in this series, but Search and Destroy looking a little bit sloppy so far.
Oh, right now, this is what I was talking about. Nade's coming in. That's a double nade towards the back. It's C going to be up top. He's going to go for this one as well. Straight with a moment in. He's going to know this at the same time, but it doesn't matter. Uli gets him. Unfortunately, the nade reply from Welly and Assault brings this back to a 2 versus 2 as Cryptic does get a trade for himself. Oh, has to back off there. But it will be Uli again. And now 1 versus 2 Iron Blood Gaming. Look like they might have been in a good position for a while. Finds one. Oh, he knows what the second one is. Cryptic's going to challenge him. Well, he walks away with that. He has full health. And now these two are playing around each other. 1 versus 1, Cryptic and Welly.
There's a certain art to a 1 versus 1. Getting your mind inside the opponents. Cryptic now. Gonna move away with that. Well, he probably knew where the bomb was. We'll spot him. Holds his shots. Which way has Cryptic got to go here?
Well, this is the point.
He
He's
knows
trying
which
to
way he
figure it
would have
out.
wanted to go there. Yeah, it's difficult. We could get caught.
I don't know. He doesn't know either one. Did he hear him? Oh, he's seen him now. He's in the feet. He's in the feet. And that's going to get him as well. That's the 1v1 that goes down. And I'll tell you something. I thought Willie had that. He had the early information. But Cryptic's route threw him off. He had just had no idea where that player had got to. And obviously, once he got a sniff of him, easy to shut him down.
Yeah, he probably would have served better had he not already seen him. It's one of those situations where it kind of can play with your mind. You start trying to play around that, and it's another round for Electrify Steel on top of that as well. S&D very much their strong suit here. Against Iron Blood, at least. Noisy yet to get himself on the board. Needs to start to step that up. Couple of 1v1 situations, though. Not going Iron Blood's way. See if they can turn this one around, Bryce.
Wow, it's plausible, but I mean, Noisy at the moment, just not having a good game. And when you're not having a player fire on all cylinders, it can be very, very difficult. But they need to figure out a way through this now. At the moment, just playing a little bit cautious. That is not open up top, and they are also not pushing this. They're probably in their mind thinking somebody is overwatching A. We just can't get in there without being pushed back. You see a lot of nades and tacticals already used. So this is it. This is what I was talking about, by the way. When you don't find anything around the back, you kind of assume there's somebody watching over. So you try and take inside to make sure if you do go for that bomb plant, you're not going to get instantly pushed. That's exactly what they're looking for now. Somebody, oh, there you go. Noisy gets first blood. They should now try and convert this into a plant, and somebody watch the inside.
Is that bomb going to go down? You have to be careful of the back tank. Cryptic and Mine combined, though, and all of a sudden what was looking like a round over towards Iron Blood Gaming is all of a sudden a 2v2.
Bob's going to go down again this as well. The tunnel's going to come through. He's going to probably pre-aim this. He's not going to. He's got teammate Assault's going to be there. Assault holds for him, and now Cryptic in a 1 versus 2. And just wasn't there in time to trade. He would have had it if he was a second before. Exceed just running away with his life. Hits the movement and the slide into Grandma's. And doesn't see him if he crosses. He hasn't seen Assault. If he crosses, he's going to get cut down.
Sure, you expect him somewhere.
Wait a minute, Assault didn't fire.
Take the shots. Information should be there, though. It doesn't need to find it. Iron Blood. A little bit better from then now. 4-2. Trying to bring this one back here, Bryce.
Yeah, desperately trying to as well. And I thought it all gone a little bit wrong. Once Cryptic held that player down at back tank, I thought, well, I don't know if they're going to be able to get out of this, but a player went for this flank and Assault took him down. That kind of opened up their rotation.
Here we go then. Electrify Steel. Want to stop this bleeding. Shots in. Not going to be quite good enough. But enough information gathered. Oh, look at this from Iron Blood. Complete stack over towards A. And what's the plan from here? Plan is to get a kill. Noisy out the door. Assault will find one of his own as well. Very, very good rotational play out of Iron Blood. Extending themselves round. Electrify Steel. Not ready for it.
Lily, just being patient, just waiting. They're hoping for some portal pick back, but they're not going to get it. A 1 versus 4 now for Lily. And he's actually going to do the long wrap, and he's going to be seen here, unfortunately, and down he goes. I thought maybe he goes rogue and tries to plant at B, but the truth is he didn't have any information. He would have assumed somebody's mapped by L or somebody's deep river. Like, he has no idea where anyone is, and anywhere he went there, they probably would have caught him.
Always a tough one. Iron Blood really getting back into this one. Just a couple of first bloods here and there's making the difference. Combined 7 spree between them. Assault on a 4 as well. If he can turn that into 3 more kills, we're laughing. Let's see if we can get this going. Iron Blood very much in the ascendancy here. Momentum behind them. Electrify Steel really have slowed down. Look at this aggressive setup, though.
That big first pick onto Exceed may have just put the nail in the coffin of this round. They haven't done a great job of recovering from this position. Well, he's looking, and if he goes to challenge, it's going to be 2 players for it. He sees mine as well, though. Cryptic's firing at him, but he hasn't hit anything. Well, he almost gets to second, probably. Just the bullets deflecting off of that. Now, that nade goes around the back. 3 versus 3, but when he's here alone, he's being very, very aggressive with it, and he goes down. I've got to say, I'm not sure that was the right play at that point.
Aggressive push comes out from Electrify Steel, moving together.
There was just no one there to trade.
Well played. Wolf packing now, Bryson. Oh, yeah. If you're in Blood Gaming, you say, okay, well, there was 3 of them over at A. Let's go towards B.
They're hitting every single flank here, and Iron Blood have no idea this is coming. It's just dangerous.
What's the play going to be?
Noise is going to try and pump, but that nade's going to come through as well. They have no time to do this, unfortunately.
Remaining.
They spent an awful long time figuring it out. And Noisy has to go for it. That pass going through. Assault on Overwatch.
Going to be solid.
And eventually does go down, and Assault can't really do anything with the time left, Ton.
Now Assault left all alone. We'll keep the streak alive, but Electrify Steel will get another round here, Bryce.
Well, a little bit of an issue there for us, Ton, but hopefully it's all back now.
Yeah, I can hear you now. That was just our comms went down. That was a bit strange. I presume the stream probably heard us talking over each other.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know exactly what was happening there, but at the moment we can hear each other again. Do apologise for that. We will figure this all out after this map. Right now, though, Noisy going to be on the flank.
Assault doing well to stay alive towards the end there, Brycey. I didn't mention it. I wonder if you did too. 5 spree for him goes for the Chal. Kind of has to. Noisy now left in a 1 versus 2 to keep the team in the game now.
He's looking for it, Ton. He's desperately trying to figure this one out. Like a puzzle, and he's got to know somebody's up top. But what does he know if there's 2 up top? I don't know if he's seen both of them, and down he goes. Just not able to get it done here, and Electrify still bring this back to 1-1. And big game for them.
Yeah, huge game. Considering map number 1, how they pretty much got blown out of the water for the most part. That is a really, really good win for the side of Electrify Steel, getting themselves back on the board. Seems like these 2 teams are very, very evenly matched. So curious how things are going to look when we do go over towards Control. But yeah, S&D, very, very strong for the side of Electrify Steel. There was a threat of a comeback there from Iron Blood with a couple of first bloods here and there. Just steady the ship though for Electrify Steel. Very aggressive players coming out from them, just trying to confuse the opponents if anything. And all of a sudden, we're tied up 1-1. We've got a Control coming up next as well. So yeah, interesting to see which way it's going to go. But things maybe got a little bit scary for Electrify Steel there, but not too scary.
Yeah, and we'll have to kind of see how it does go and play out between these 2 teams. But you are right, Electrify Steel just seemed to have the advantage in a lot of situations in that S&D, and they converted when they needed to. It was one of those ones where they seemed kind of well suited to it. Like when they kind of went in Wolfpack towards it, you saw all 3 of them just completely flip the script and said, hey, we don't need to sit in positions and try to defend these A and B sites. If we take their spawn, we can have a retake from this side as well. And if we catch any of them rotating, that will give us even bigger an advantage. And obviously, Uli was a big part of that.
Yeah, very well played from him. 10 non-traded kills, especially when it comes down to Bakaj. That's pretty crazy. It has to be said. It's one of those ones where trades do come on through. You know, these close-range gunfights. That's typically where you would expect them to come in. Nonetheless, 11 and 5. 10 non-traded kills. Very, very well played from Uli. That'll tie us up 1-1. It's got us set up very, very nicely for map number 3.
Yeah, it certainly should do as well. And this could be, and all the way that we're going 5-ton, it seems like it's been flavor of the night for us to go the entire distance, but we'll have to find out. So what we're going to do is go to a quick commercial break, because not only do we have to make sure our comms are all working, but we need to get the players in the lobby and ready for our wonderful control map. Don't go anywhere. We will see you right after this break here on Call of Duty Challengers Elite. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Call of Duty Challengers Elite. My name is Bryce. We are back. Our comms have been fixed. So I apologize for the ending of that game if you thought me and Tun were talking over each other, but we couldn't hear each other and we just keep talking in that case.
Am I right?
We kind of fixed it eventually. So don't worry about it. Sometimes this happens. It's esports. There's 1,000 things going wrong. If you could see the amount of programs open on my computer, you'd understand. But we're back ready for this game. If you are watching right now and you're wondering what is going on, currently 1-1 between Electrify Steel and Iron Blood Gaming. Iron Blood take the Hardpoint, Electrify Steel take the S&D, and that ton leads us to a control.
It does lead us to control, one on Berlin as well. So curious to see how well versed the teams have found themselves in this map in particular. Of course, it has not been in the rotation for very long at all. So who is more well versed in it? And I think, you know, as time goes on, we'll be talking about this at the top of the show in the European side of things. It's very much about teams still trying to learn exactly what the best thing to do is. Sometimes we can see things be a little bit slow from time to time, or maybe even a little bit too fast. So it's about teams finding out the pace, finding out the best spots to be in on this map. So far, though, we've kind of got the inclination. Obviously, B is the more difficult to get a hold of, but when it comes down to it, very much a 4 down on either side of things is bad news for the team who went 4 down. I know that's very, very obvious, but usually on another control map, you can get away with it. Sometimes, though, you can be heavily, heavily punished for that. So you have to make sure that you are playing your life at the right time. But interested to see whoever has actually managed to pick up a bit of a better strat when it does come down to Berlin. Of course, we will see Gav now in map number 4. Map number 5, we may well see it as well if both these two teams split these next 2 maps.
Yeah, I tell you something, when these two teams really go to war, I think for me, watching Iron Blood, their hardpoint was really, really good until it wasn't. And then Electrify Steel, like, they seemed more confident in the search and destroy. And a lot of that's off the back of Uli, right? Like, he was 11-6 at the end of that game and just kept making the first blood and kept winning the gunfights we didn't think he maybe should have made. And obviously, when you talk about a team in S&D like that, for me, it screams confidence. When you see a team take 3 and go, right, we technically have the numbers advantage now in a 3 versus 2. We're going to wrap River. We're going to wrap the entire way around this map at this point, even with numbers. They didn't try and hold the spawn. They didn't try and post up. They didn't try and catch somebody. They went, nope, we are going all the way around. We're wolf packing it the entire way. And that call has come in And that's obviously the in-game leader has called that, but also the entire team just went, right, we're going along with it, let's do it.
See how I'm really not sure how this series is actually going to play out. I'm really not sure now because I mean we've seen 3 Bakajas now technically. All 3 of them were different. Search and Destroy was one-sided, then it looked like Iron Blood were going to come back, but all of a sudden, Electrify Steel really turned things on. So Control on Berlin. Bryce, I haven't got a clue. Haven't a clue.
I mean, I think one of the biggest issues with that is essentially Berlin has been a little bit chaotic, shall we say, for the teams when they're working out how this is going to work between them. And the reason for that, by the way, is also because essentially when you go into that B control point, it's either you get enough numbers to hold it and move the other team out, and basically at that point you basically have won that point, or you don't and you're forced to fight your way across the entire side of the map. Now it kind of turns B into this switch. You either have it or you don't, and there is no real in between. It's not like a chaotic thing like on A side where both teams can fight around it and they're going back and forth and they're trading left, right and center. Most of the time it just becomes either you have B and you have the numbers, or if you've lost a few players you don't have B and you have to back off. And it's a very weird kind of point for a control point that essentially it has to be a team push or nothing.
It is a strange one. But it makes it entertaining in the respect of like the round is never over. It does not matter if, well, I mean, I think it would matter if you were 1v20, but you know what I mean. Like it's a certain degree of if it's somewhat plausible that it could happen, it could happen. Very much if you are like 4 lives remaining. We've seen it the other day with Toronto Academy EU going up against Optic, an attacking round. They had 4 lives remaining. They had to find a perfect break. They did it to force round number 5 and then got 4 dead immediately on their defensive side of things and lost the final round, of course. But things can happen very, very quickly on Berlin Control. Apart from getting in again, of course.
Well, we'll explain it. We'll see how it gets on now. And I think for me, obviously, this has been a long series, essentially. You got to remember we did start this series, I was going to say 11:30, but for American viewers, that doesn't make any sense. 2.5 hours ago, we started this series, coming into this one, and we're now on to map number 3. And I think we've basically said everything we can possibly say about Iron Blood and Electrify, considering we've seen them play Bakars 3 times. When it comes to the control, we are hopefully going to see who eventually pulls ahead in this series as well. And as I say that, we're coming back to us. So, no, we're not. We're not seeing the control yet. We will hopefully see it in a few minutes.
Yeah, hopefully. But Berlin Control for me, I'm very curious of how teams are going to start figuring out maybe a bit of a better way to get inside a B. I don't know. We'll maybe find out shortly.
All right. Well, I'm sure there's many of us who are fed up of talking, as we've done an awful lot of it for this one. So while we get everybody in this lobby and make sure everything is locked down and ready for competitive integrity, we're going to throw to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. More Call of Duty Challenge League coming up right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Call of Duty Challengers Elite, a phrase that has been going on and on for the majority of the night. But I believe the control is just on the cusp of being ready. We had a game crash, and obviously we go back, and teams get back into the lobbies. We go back now into Berlin control.
Hopefully. Unless you just jinxed it.
Oh, I'll tell you something. Esports is always fun. It's never ever boring because this game is now ready to rock. We are going to go into it on board. First of all, with Uli, you had a fantastic Search and Destroy, and they're hitting A hard.
Yep, get a hold of this one. Well, if he can get through the door, of course, or window, I should say. Gets inside, and it's kind of a shock and awe tactic in this instance. It looks as if Iron Blood were very ready for a B hit coming on through. But now if you're Electrify Steel, you have to make sure that this works, because you've given up complete map control over towards that side. You have found the kills though, and well, it has worked. There you go. Now you can start stretching over towards B. Already have 2 ticks over towards A, and well, most of the damage is already done, especially if Mind can continue to do this. There's 3 dead. He stayed alive as well here. Absolute disaster for Iron Blood to kick things off.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about. It's either a switch or it isn't, and now Mind is just trying to lock down all the reinforcements coming through. I'm surprised there's not more of a stack going on.
Oh, wow.
And now Uli is the only one left alone. I'm kind of confused as to how that ended up playing out. I thought they had that locked in, Ton.
It looked like the way, but I think they were just trying to extend just to make sure they had a hold of it and lose the gunfights. But all being said, they're going to get a hold of it pretty free here, and Cryptic is already ready and waiting for the overextension to start coming through. They're going to get it. They're going to be able to extend that time. They have a 6 or so life point advantage, and they also have 1 tick over towards speed. They've also got Kaiser and an absolute god spot up top. And this really has become a go-to area. If you're on the attack, Mind is just flying into their spawn. It's absolute chaos over towards B. It's been created by Electrify Steel, and they are absolutely reveling in it.
Oh, it's a big shot there from Mind as well, staying alive. They're going to have to try and deal with him. Critic, though, opening up towards Tickets. Mike somehow gets another kill around the back. If he wins this gunfight, they're in. And he hasn't, unfortunately. Exceed will stay alive, and that does mean Electrify Steel have to slow down and wait for the numbers. Such a big gunfight for him to win, especially against a hot Mind.
12 lives remaining, make that 11 now. Make that 10 now for the side of Iron Blood Gaming. Uli, surely not. Assault eventually does cut him down. But a minute and 14 seconds remaining. Only 10 lives remaining. They need to be perfect here. And well, there you go. There's a few kills going to go their way. And all of a sudden, they can start to extend out here, Brycey.
You've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. While they can overextend and do so well at it, they can't afford to let anything slip. Fortunately, this does mean it is a difficult push all the way through here for Electrify Steel.
Where's that push going to come from? That's what Exceed's trying to figure out. He sees one on the left-hand side, although did he see him? Cryptic and Co now down this left-hand side. Mind's going to get caught out as well. Well played from Noisy. Iron Blood Gaming are holding on here. Bryce, 30 seconds to go.
This is the push. This is the push Electrify need if they can find something. And you can see Iron Blood are close, and the benefit of that is going to be good trades if they can get it. Kaiser opens up. Mind gets a second one, though, and now comes the huge push. They have to get in here fast enough to shut down the reinforcements coming through, and they might have done just enough. Mind now flying in. He's going to be looking long for it. Finds Assault.
Stop the time. Stop the time.
He goes down. He gets taken out, and you are right. There is no longer any time for it. Uli just has to dive into this point with 2 seconds left to go and needs to get cut down as well. Are there any players there that can do this? And Iron Blood win the defense, but I feel like Electrify Steel were way too close to have lost that.
I want to say that Mind, I was looking at the kill feed when it happened, got killed by Assault, so I think he must have jumped off the
jump
stairs.
Or something, or a stun?
Yeah, I don't know if the jumps injured him from that height.
I did wonder what killed him. I was like, I didn't see anyone towards the back.
Yeah,
but...
well, it had to have been that, right?
Yeah, potentially, and that's gonna be devastating if that is in fact the case.
Yeah, because he was the only one who was in a really good spot to get a hold of it. Either way, look, it's a defensive round. You would always still argue that defense does have the benefit of the doubt, does have that slight advantage. Iron Blood hold their defense. Can they themselves find an attack?
Well, at the moment, just a quick A capture going through as Cryptic tries to find somebody with the door, and eventually we'll go down to Noisy at the same time. And Iron Blood now look to make these kills. If they can make them as Assault makes the first one. Mind coming all the way through, but he's been seen as well. The difference being here is that they're not really in a position to just completely lock down B. They've got to keep an eye. Kaiser is still on the outside, and Exceed does not have the friends here he needs for it.
Tough spot to be in. Doing well just to survive, though. Stop
Oh,
the clock.
my goodness.
I think they do, and
That's
there you
it.
go. I tell you what, Exceed has done wonderful. B now starting to tick up. They forced him away, but look at this spawn coming on through. Still inside a fire. Welly trying his best to stay alive. Players are closed up. Where are the reinforcements coming in here for the side of Iron Blood? A long, long way away. But is the damage already done? That's 2 ticks. 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, Bryce. That is a long, long time.
It's an incredibly long time. But with 1 tick left, it basically means Electrify still cannot put a foot wrong. What they want to do here is make this next set of kills to get towards Train and force Iron Blood to run the gauntlet. Oh, however, that's perfect. That is perfect. Extend, push out now, take terrain control, and just start cutting down anybody you see from Iron Blood. Welly, though, with 2, doesn't give them that opportunity to get as pushed out as they would like.
Yeah, they were ready and waiting for them. They knew they would want to push out, knew they needed to take up some good map control. Looks like they have actually fought back here, Electrify Steel, though. The thing is here, though, for Iron Blood, they have the time to take their time and fight their way out. They don't need to be flying forward. They've got 1 minute and 20 seconds. Let's get 1 tick over towards B. They do not need to rush their way out of this. Great shots from Cryptic. So far, so good from Electrify Steel. But as I said, Iron Blood have time on their side.
And this is, you say they got time on their side, but already half of that is gone, and they have made no ingress on this map at all. And they have to deal with so many corners. This is the issue. Like, you're fighting from miles away, and you have to continue to keep as many players up as possible to try and eventually make this push. This is the next big trades that could come through. Cryptic taking down Noisy, and there is a few trades going down. Iron Blood have some opportunity. They now have a player on the spawn. Keep an eye on Willie, who'll be trying to cut down any of these players who come through fire or through platform. And they know he's going to be here as well, but Cryptic gets taken down regardless. A huge flank coming in from Iron Blood Gaming.
Had to try something. Wasn't working out for them. 8v8. Noisy will find one. Cryptic as well here. Kaiser gonna have to lock this one in. Keep an eye on where the spawns come in inside of fire. It can get a little bit mixy, and Assault's gonna fall on his way in. And this is looking like a very, very well defended point. Coming in for Electrify Steel. It was immediately those 4 dead that they found and forced Iron Blood back. They could not find a way through. Wonderful defensive play.
Yeah, and this is the thing. You said 2 minutes is a long time. I was like, not if you can't get a good trade. You essentially have to trade pretty flawlessly, and that is difficult with how far away you are. Because if you don't do it early, if you don't do it when you're in a good enough position, you still can't get to the point. Like, you can get 2 down, but if you're still not at the point, you're just not going to have the numbers by the time you get there. And that's what they kept running into. They just couldn't get a clean wipe. They couldn't secure a train. They couldn't push through the mid map. And when they did, Electrify Steel will start winning the trades again.
Looking like a, well, not necessarily a standard hit over towards A this time. Still players over towards B from the side of Electrify Steel. Didn't work out that time though, so back default over towards A. Just trying to catch up the players who are going to try and flank, which I kind of like. Stops the flank coming in over towards A if that is where you concentrate your resources, although it has come in nonetheless. Cryptic has let a player slip. No pictures on anything here for Electrify Steel.
Now you can see it's been a little bit cautious here for Exceeded, and it tries to be cautious and it just instantly goes down. Electrify Steel looking to lock this one in and perhaps get themselves that 2 minutes on the board, Ton. And Iron Blood Gaming aren't taking any chances, really. They don't look like they want to shut this one down.
Not looking that way. I think it is pretty much a chalk-up, isn't it, when it does come down to it. You can fight it, but it's one of those ones, it's kind of like Aeon Tuscan. Kind of always happens. Not worth investing the resources for.
Look at that
Such
fight.
a difficult gunfight.
Yeah, Cryptic and Noisy going at it.
Yeah, need to get rid of those players back there, though, over towards the trains. Try your best to try and clear them out. Assault. How's it going, fella? Yuli will find 1 second on the Noisy as well. Great snap. Can he find the third as well? That would have been absurd. Exceed should get cut down, though. There you go. That's 3 dead momentarily. And they have Mine pushed up here as well. So maybe he can cut the head of the snake off here as Iron Blood Gaming trying to get themselves back in a better spot. There's one, can't find the second, but there you go. Electrify Steel in, and they are locked in. Can they continue to hold this one down?
Already you can see he's just going to watch anybody who comes through that window here at the same time. He sees the second one as well, and that may be the final nail in the coffin. They are now staggered way back at spawn. Mines coming through. The rest of Electrify Steel are desperately running towards to help their teammates, but that tick is going, and it does mean Iron Blood have to push the tempo, but they haven't won a single kill as they get pushed into that choke point. And that's exactly what I was talking about. It's either you capture it with the numbers or you don't have it, and they had it.
Nicely done. And I think it's just getting in there and staying alive. Even if a couple of your teammates die, staying alive, keeping that clock going, trying your best to keep that pressure on and just wait and hope that everybody's running through trade station really, really quickly. Grenade came over for one of the players. Actually, I think he went through mid-map to grenade over towards the plateau. Which the players are obviously on the defensive side are pushing from fire. Nicely done though. On the side, Electrify Steel now. They just need to lock in the defense here to take a 2-1 lead once again.
Early's on a 5 streak at the same time, and they are looking to just completely shut this one down right now. They know they just have to hold this off for a bit, and the advantage will be towards them. And Mine backs off and tries to let his teammates get through. Eventually will be taken down. That's not as good as they would like. Noisy's going to come under pressure, but Uli shuts him down, and there will be a trade coming through. And Electrify Steel, probably a little bit of nerves coming in there, as they thought maybe Iron Blood would take it away from them early.
Just looking at some of the other results there. Toronto Academy NA are losing 3-0 in their very first game. Surprising to see when they are coming back. You'd expect maybe a little bit more there. Be interested to see how the rest of the week goes for them. Of course, game's on tomorrow. But back into this one. Uli and Co. Trying to get some control over towards A. Iron Blood, though, going to lock this one in. So they'll have a good solid 2 minutes to have another hit it over towards B. The line's pretty even. Exceed already through. You haven't covered all your bases. If you're the side of Electrifying Steel yet, you need to make sure all the cuts are covered because Exceed's broke on the through, and he's nearly just broken your defense. Have to turn around, have to sort him out. Now where are the rest of Iron Blood Gaming? You just don't know.
Well, unfortunately, they managed to clean the pipes, essentially, and get them out just far enough, Tunt. And Iron Blood find themselves in a very familiar situation. A lot of map to go, and a lot of time to do it. They're trying to hard push Ticket now, or at least hold control of it, but only comes flying out for it and they're ready. Unfortunately, Cryptic gets a trade back of his own. This is what I'm saying. You just can't get the trades right, and if you can't move. Iron Blood Gaming is still in the same position they were about 30 seconds ago because they cannot get these trades to go their way.
Absolute disaster for Iron Blood. Can they find a way out here? Electrify Steel trying their best just to try and lock this down, trying to stay alive. Uli maybe has overstepped though. Exceed will find one. Exceed will find two. Mine now needs to find something as Noisy goes around the corner, but Kaiser will find two of his own here. Is the challenge going to come in from Exceed as he finds his third of this life? Make that four, make that five from Exceed. That is absurd. He's broke it on his own. Bryson, they should be able to lock this in.
That's going up. Mine, I thought he was going to go around the back here, but instead to try to go push through and stop this clock just for a second. Only gets into it at the same time, but it's just been cut down left, right, and center, and that's already gone. Iron Blood Gaming win their attack off the back of Exceed. And it's always a horrible scenario. They knew they couldn't have any sort of time left, so they just had to keep filing on through, taking the 1v1 gunfights, taking the gunfights you do not want to take in Call of Duty, where the enemy knows where you are, they're in cover, and they are pre-aimed and ready. And now we're into round number 5. We said it was going to be close between these two again, and it is. One defense, one offense for each.
Exceed now on a 5 spree. Would like to make that a 7, get a hold of the streak, and here they come. There's one, but we'll get traded. The sacrificial lamb over towards A. Trying to find something. A killer piece, and looking like A is going to go over towards Electrify Steel nice and early, but Iron Blood having a look at this. Having more than a look.
Yeah. If they can just bleed as many kills away from this at the beginning, it'd be great for them. They've got to be careful, though. If I remember correctly, we've seen this before, where a team went too far over. Let somebody slip through into B. Eventually, though, they keep their own right mind. They get over towards train, make sure that isn't going to happen. Kaiser, though, having a little look. He's happy he can get in here as well. That turns red, so he sees a player coming. He knows a player's in here, and now he's going to be in B, and that's going to force Iron Blood Gaming to react to it.
You have to react. Pick your poison. What do you want to do about this? I mean, look at where Electrify Steel are. They're not really bothered about A too much. They're kind of just in the spawn, just trying to manipulate as best as they possibly can. 2 of them now on fire. And is Assault going to be ready for this? Tag with the stun comes in, so that gives him a little bit of information. Exceed will find one on the Cryptic as well, so that's just going to allow that pressure to come off just a little bit now, as Kaiser may well be able to finish off A all alone. That will extend the clock. But still, work to do for Electrify Steel. It won't extend the clock. Actually, they haven't managed to find their way in. Eventually, Cryptic will get the job done. 1:44 seconds left to go to get a hold of B.
Oh, Electrify have done this once. Can they do it again? It's all gone a little bit slow here on Berlin, as the teams know they have to fight for these positions. There's a big fight going on towards train. They have cleared out the train push here. There is a flank also coming in through. Both teams looking for this. Cryptic wins it towards it. They have finally pushed out towards Ticket. Mind is now playing with this team. Has managed to find it. And now it's danger zone. They're going to go straight for it. He knows Exceed's going to be in the corner. Exceed holds them off for just a few seconds. Gets a second as well. And somehow, some way, Electrify still completely falter at the last hurdle ton.
It's so difficult, isn't it? You get so close but so far, but then you can be so far all the way through the round, and in the blink of an eye, find yourself in the driving seat, and you can find yourself around here in control. Uli not going to find a breakthrough, looking for that break down the dock side. 50 seconds left to go here for Electrify Steel. This is what I mean, though. 9 to 17 lives, still plausible for them, but they need to start finding kills quickly.
It's plausible, but I'm starting to think it's becoming impossible. 34 seconds. Perfect trades coming in from Electrify Steel is the only way they get up this map in time. They're looking for it now. You can see this player already looking for that reinforcements come through. He knows well he's going to be coming off respawn. Uli gets one. Staying alive. Do they find him? Gonna look, doesn't turn around though, and Uli should go down as he gets picked up by the player. No, wait a minute. That player chooses, or maybe didn't see him. Uli's gone all the way through, looking for the players left, right, and center. He's got into the zone here. Stopped it with 12 seconds. Mind looking for a player he knows towards Ticket. Well, and that fight does not go his way. They needed the reinforcements. Uli's still alive, still dancing, still trying to make sure he can hold this on for his team, but he is massively outnumbered. And look at the guns firing through. Cryptic cannot get it done either. It's now a 2 versus an 11. Mind would have to be magical, and I don't think it's going to happen for him.
It's not going to happen. Iron Blood will find themselves a control now. Fantastic game from them. A really good map number 3. Back and forth. Really hard to distinguish which way that one was actually going to go at any given moment. But Iron Blood get the job done, and just a really good defensive hold this time around. We've seen attacking rounds go either way, it has to be said, but the defense is the one that's key at the end. Very nicely done. I just like how they extended out consistently. They were just being a right pain for the other side of things there. It just makes it so difficult to find any sort of map control, and that's what control is about. It's about controlling the rest of the map, and yeah, okay, the objectives you have to think about, but forcing this team back as far as possible, wasting time as well. But not say, I thought Electrify Steel had a couple of good moments as well, but Iron Blood Gaming really solid out of that.
Yeah, and it comes to a couple of key gunfights, right? We said they had to have enough players ready for it to push in the Ticket, and there was a fight right towards the end where I thought if they had won that fight, they had Ticket control, they could get enough bodies into that B point where they could make it very difficult for them. Unfortunately, they lost that one gunfight, and you could see, earlier, I think it was Cryptic, were desperately trying to stem the flood of Iron Blood players, just pushing him at the same time. Even losing one trade in that scenario wasn't going to work for them, and Iron Blood Gaming, from a sliver of a chance, have managed to move forward into the lead in this series. I was trying to look for anybody who really stands out, but it was pretty even across the board, Ton.
Yeah, really even, actually. I think if you say anything, it's Assault, 27 non-traded kills. Maybe not the highest of damage, but if you're talking about standouts in terms of KD, yeah, there is that there as well. Nicely done, though. Take that one if you are Iron Blood. Heading into a map number 4. I believe I've completely forgotten what map number 4 is. We'll find out in a second. I know that map number 5 is going to be Desert Seas. There you go, Gav. Well, if Assault can keep playing like this, then Iron Blood are going to be feeling good about it. Had a good couple of maps on the respawn mode specifically. Electrify Steel struggling to answer back at anything but the Search and Destroy. But if they can find this map number 4, they can force it to Search and Destroy and just Desert Siege to finish things off. Of course, it wouldn't be us casting over challengers if it wasn't a map 5, so expect it.
Yeah, always expect. Nobody expects the map 5 Desert Siege, but it's coming. And we'll have to see how this one plays out. I'll tell you what, though. Between these two teams, I'm not sure who's really going to come out on top on Gavudu at the moment, because if I go back through it, Electrify Steel, if they had more time on the Hardpoint, they could have won it. Obviously, they ran out of time in the ending there. They were in control of P2. They had the opportunity. They were making a massive comeback. Electrify Steel, though, in the S&D, were the more dominant team. They definitely had it locked down in more rounds. They had the advantage, and they continue to push that forward. Control genuinely could have been anyone's game. Genuinely could have been anyone's game on most of the attacking and control rounds. Either team had the opportunities to really lock it down a few times. Some squandered opportunities for them, but yeah, if that went to Electrify Steel, we wouldn't be sitting here like it was an upset at all.
Yeah.
We'd be saying, oh, it's pretty standard for going to them. Going into the next hard point, I don't know. I wonder whether or not Electrify Steel come out slow on that first hard point, and maybe I'm judging them too much on that, or just the fact that Iron Blood Gaming have the mental edge being 2-1 up in the series.
Possibly. I think, you know, what you could say about Iron Blood, that scoreline maybe humbles Electrify Steel just a little bit, because it was so gargantuan at one point, and Iron Blood just kind of let the clock run down, didn't they? So maybe you could say that Pakaj was a little bit more convincing, but Gavutu is a very, very different beast, isn't it? It's a completely different kind of map. It's more so about those rotations being locked in, and you have to make sure they are locked in. I don't think Electrify Steel are too bad at that, to be honest with you. So let's see how Gavutu is going to work out for them. But with the way that the ARs and Iron Blood are playing, I would expect a Gav win, personally. I'm not sure about you. We'll see.
All right, well, I'll hold to that one. I suppose the difficulty is I don't want to agree with you, because I still feel like it could genuinely go either way onto this one. And when we find out exactly how it does kick off between these two teams, I think both teams have had. I think Uli has impressed me so far with a lot of the plays he's been making, pretty much all the way through the series as well. Like, obviously didn't have the greatest start in the first game, but in the S&D and in the control as well, a key player for them. And I don't know if Gavutu is going to be his strongest yet either. I haven't seen a ton of this player come into it, but the old saying, only time will tell.
Time will tell. We should be jumping in very, very shortly. Map number 4. Hope you all have enjoyed the Challengers broadcast. Coming back up and running here, though, after the Pro-Am. Of course, didn't see either one of these two teams. The team that we did see in the Pro-Am, of course, Toronto Academy NA, losing 3-0 in their first game, which is not ideal. Not what you want to see from a team that were the ones who mostly excited the crowd, I would say. Fans at home watching, very much getting behind Toronto Academy NA, and rightfully so. Unfortunate not to find themselves getting through, but they'll want those chances again sometime.
I mean, we can talk about while we're waiting for this game to start. Like, yeah, I think that was probably the biggest disappointment. But if you want to play devil's advocate about Toronto North America, or the Toronto Academy North America, to give them their full name, essentially they kind of did it themselves by going 2-0 down in both of the series they won. Like, if they hadn't have done that and hadn't had to reverse sweep, essentially, like, they would have been in a position to move forward in the bracket. It's just the map count that killed them.
Yep. And that is how groups work, unfortunately. Have to make sure that you're doing your series in an effective way. Anyway, we're back into it. Hardpoint Gav. Let's see which way it's going to go. Iron Blood currently leading, and in theory, I like this map for them. So let's see how it breaks down as we head over towards Gav. It's all about that P1 push. Who can lock down this first decent amount of time?
Well, at the moment, he's going to be noisy. He's up there with the rest of his team. Iron Blood Gaming have the slight advantage at the moment. There's a player going to be all the way down to it. It's Kaiser going to be watching the outside ring. His teammates can push that now in a little bit of confidence, but they have to get there first. Kaiser eventually going to try and sneak through by the fact he has teammates with him and the fact he's close. They're looking for these players now into it. The nade already going to hit him into the face here, but it will be Electrify Steel who just keep coming in with more and more numbers into this point. And it's still contested, and somehow Iron Blood Gaming keep away with it.
Assault has done so well to find that first kill there, and that would have been the flank coming in. Uli now going to find a break, isn't able to find the second kill. Exceed does brilliantly. So it's going to be about a 35-point lead, 34-point lead for the side of Ironblood Gaming. A great start from them. Rotation over towards the ship, though. Cryptic ready and waiting. 2 big kills to lock down what should be some significant time for Electrify Steel.
Well, Electrify still looking for this one, and Welly's trying to make some sort of ingress towards it. Eventually going to get taken down as well, and Ironblood Gaming are not getting anywhere near this one as they lose every single gunfight they need. And now they're sitting all back tower, and Mind is ready, waiting and pouncing on them. The only thing I'll be looking for now, Ton, as it starts to get towards the latter half of this hard point, is can we flip them out?
Can he continue to lock green down? Those eventually fall. 20 seconds remaining here. Flipping them out would have been fantastic for Electrify Steel, but Exceeding Cup, well, I said that they are quite far pushed up here, and are they going to flip them out? Not quite. Noisy still spawning towards the back, and Assault will find 2 big kills. And by the way, getting control of P1 area, very, very important for locking down P3. Kaiser, though, slipped the net in round from behind. Can he find a couple of kills here? And Blood Gamer, no, he's there, and Wally will find 2. There's 1 more towards the back. That's 4 dead. Perfect setup here for the side of Ironblood.
Crypt is going to try and hit this pinch here. This is their last real push before they think about flipping as well. And I say last real push as they completely, totally shut down Ironblood Gaming. Everything goes their way. Only Exceed stands between them and that point, and somehow he is standing firm. Will fall himself. Maybe one last push from Ironblood Gaming. They know they don't want to give away spawns, and they've got to be careful.
Got to be careful here, as you said, for Electrify Steel. I'm going to pick up these final 15 or so, but Ironblood Gaming in the spot to get this rotation over towards P4, which of course can be the hill that can really, literally, make your money on Gav. But Electrify Steel have a decent enough lead that they won't worry about it too much. Rotation's starting to come in, a very, very spread out Ironblood Gaming. Look at this. There's 1 player inside the point, but look how far they are spread out here. Pressure's going to start coming in, though, and when you are so spread out, you need to be able to get those angles to help your teammates out as best as they possibly can. Assault needs to stay alive inside the point. The rest of his team are there, though. They've cut them down, and Noisy finds 3 in a row, and the rotation's going to start coming in here from Ironblood over towards P5 very, very shortly.
Yeah, Electrify Steel were kind of nervous about who was actually where, and eventually they just got caught out and weren't able to push it as much. They might go for a big last cliff push here. They are 3 players about to streak towards it. Unfortunately, it's getting cut down. Noisy still proving a massive, massive issue, and they can't get anything going for them. Eventually, Noisy will get taken down, but it has led Ironblood Gaming to be in the lead. Huge place for them there, and that hold, it wasn't even close.
No, it's been flawless, to be honest with you, Bretty. Every single point going over to Ironblood. This rotation over towards green, actually, is going to be a bit of a foot race here. They're going to fight over control of P1, no doubt. But I think Ironblood are in a lot better of a situation than they thought they would have been here on their way over. They've lost P1 control, but can they find the break through the front door? Kai's going to have to back down and does so wisely. Assault continuing his reign of terror here. Fantastic stuff from him. Him and Exceed have just broken through themselves. Ironblood Gaming at the races here on Gavutu, looking a lot better.
Noisy shuts it down. Takes down Assault eventually, and Kaiser will now sit pretty in this hill. It's not an easy push, this one, because you've constantly got to watch that mid-map for anybody watching the cut as you push through. And essentially, once you jump off, you're incredibly vulnerable. But Noisy's managed to find 2. Welly may now push Propane, allowing them to get some sort of toe in towards this hill.
Time's still going over to Ironblood, and look at this as well, Bryce. Rotation over towards P1 is theirs as well. They are in danger of running away with this. I know the scoreline is close, but the last 2 hills have been all Ironblood. They're going to fall with a few seconds to go. They're here over towards P1. Can they lock in some good time here? I'm going to be interested to see what Assault can do off the respawn to try and lock down that mid-map, but the rest of the team just need to hold the front door if they possibly can. Uli's trying to find a break on through. Exceed with the AR here is not necessarily where he wants to be. Uli with the MP40 is exactly where he wants to be, and it's a big break from Electric Steel.
It is, and Kaiser's looking to take advantage. He's ready for these players coming off the rip, and I think they know he's going to be here as well, especially since he's just taking down Noisy. Nate should be raiding in towards him as they try to get him out of that position. And he has some support from up top. Mind is looking for these players, pushing him as well. He's called that one out at the same time. Gets it. See, that is ridiculous. Must have been very, very weak for him. But here comes the rest of Ironblood. They're now pouring in numbers, but Mind's going to be here, not able to snap onto the second either. And it looks like that scrap will eventually go over to Iron Blood, but the rotation is for Electrify Steel.
Honestly, I think Iron Blood would be kicking themselves a little bit. It's felt like they've won the last 3 rotations, but yeah, okay, they've got a lead, but it definitely could have been a lot better than that. They haven't even been able to lock down the time, especially on that P1 push. You do manage to get the scrap, and this rotation over towards P2 is looking really good as well. It's actually momentarily only Uli who's inside the point, and Noisy just causing, oh my god, all sorts of issues. That is ridiculous. Kaiser's able to enter back with 2 of his own, though, and all of a sudden, Iron Blood don't look as solid as they once did. And that's a pretty clean break. Kaiser finds 3 on the way in.
Noisy's going to try and just maybe hold here for a few seconds, see if he can get anybody pushing out, and he does. Looking for this next player. Eventually will be cut down by the player by Tank as well. And it is all square in this at the moment. 143 to 143. But it will be Electrify Steel who slowly but surely move into the lead here. Kaiser's was on a big streak, I was going to say, and unfortunately gets shut down. That glide bomb would have come in useful.
Didn't get a hold of it. P1 control is there for Electrify Steel. Important. Now they can force Iron Blood back. Got the side of the map that they want for the rotation over towards P4, which is going to be coming up in 60 seconds. Spawn's coming in now, though, for Iron Blood towards green side. Electrify Steel push themselves forward. Iron Blood utility has to be good here.
It's a little bit of a stand-up for them. Kaiser is not letting them get into the position they would want to be in, but Welly gets 2, and Kaiser looks away at the last possible second and gets cut down, Ton. If he held it for just a split second more, he probably would have been able to do something about that push that come through. Electrify Steel looking maybe just to get those nades on, bleed the time away here from Iron Blood Gaming, and then back up and take control.
Look at number 7. Assault is already on a route. He's going to have Exceed alongside him here as well. Big good fight going on over towards the cliff. Oh, he gets caught in the middle of a sprint. I don't think he would have found both of them. And Kaiser's pushed out and found Exceed. It's going to be a big setup here from Electrify Steel. Iron Blood do have that lead, but it is slender. And look at the spawns and look at this rotation. We've seen last time around, Iron Blood locked this in for the full 60. Can Electrify Steel do the same thing?
If Electrify Steel do the exact same thing, they are going to be in an incredible position in striking distance of ending this game completely. They are doing it. You can see already Cryptic is causing issues up towards top ring. I wonder if they're going to try and hunt him down. But bodies from Iron Blood Gaming now moving towards the point, but they still haven't found Cryptic. He's now raiding terror on them like Noisy was last time. And they can't get through this choke point. Noisy managed to find 1 kill. Can he get through, though? He's going to find him close at the same time, and that shut down the push. Electrify Steel are going to be so close to lethal distance.
It's all about this rotation for Iron Blood now. That 10 seconds is gone. Are you ready and waiting here? Or can Cryptic and Co find the kills? They cannot. It's boat control. It's green control. You have to be careful about this push from P1. That's always dangerous. You can see Assault ready and waiting. He'll probably find that kill over there. Has done. Really nice setup here for Iron Blood. Both these two teams just trading rotations and then trading a good solid 50 or 60 points at every single stage.
Yeah, but this is
not
not an easy
most
hold.
of the time here, though. Yeah, it's not an easy hold.
They've already got players pushing towards green. They've already got players watching the rotation as well. And that's a break-in pretty much straight away. Electrify Steel lock this one down. And now, if you're Iron Blood Gaming, you've got to send everything towards it. They need more bodies towards it as well as green. As Noisy manages to get in somehow, but Kaiser guns him before he can make too much of an impact. And Iron Blood are now in the horrible situation where they basically have to continue and put this pressure up. I don't think they can even afford at the moment to rotate.
Oh, wow.
They managed to get through, and they can. I'm lying. I'm completely lying. Yeah. They are going to get a player into top ring as well.
He got somebody in top ring, but he needs reinforcements very shortly. But Noisy has been doing big things in this game for his team. There's 2 possible kills. He's going to find the second.
No
there
way!
You go. Finds it on Uli as well. It's absurd from Noisy. And there you go. The rotation comes in. He has help as well. Mind is the only one here momentarily. Well, he's going to kill Exceed, though, which is not ideal. Mind has done well to survive. Off the respawn, here they come. Shots going to come in. Noisy will eventually fall. Where's the rest of Iron Blood?
I think I can take it. Uli has managed to make 2 here. Kaiser gets the 3rd as well. And Iron Blood, they were in a position off the back of Noisy, and now they're not. And they continue to be cut down in their prime, left, right, and center. With 4 seconds left to go, they basically have to sprint. Cryptic is ready for Noisy as well. Says thank you very much. And Electrify Steel. They break P1 and they break the back of Iron Blood Gaming. We're going to another map number 5 ton. And I will say this, I thought Noisy did fantastic work to make that play. Unfortunately, the team kill come through, and he just couldn't hold on anymore.
Yep, I think the team kill definitely does not help things there at all. A fantastic rotation out of Noisy. And honestly, I really didn't expect him to find that 3rd kill. But when he does so, you think that that could be it, because you really can lock down so much time over towards P1. A phenomenal retake in the end. That grenade though absolutely does not help the side of Iron Blood. And now where's the heads at? Heading into a search and destroy. I wouldn't say it's so much a mistake. You've got to, you know, throw a grenade towards that point to try and help out. But it's one of those moments where you sort of say, right, well, if you hadn't done it, could we have won? You'll never know now as we head towards a map number 5. I have no idea. No idea now, Brycey. Electrify Steel looked great in the first search and destroy, though, it has to be said.
Well, it was close again all the way through here, and I thought Noisy had somehow pulled out of madness. Just breaking into P1 himself, winning the gunfight, staying alive, running around in the center ring, just refusing to die. I think it was a 3rd kill he made up there, which I just was convinced he was not going to get. And I was like, well, if they can get here. I think there was a player from Iron Blood Gaming trying to watch the cut pushing through, and the rest of his team were coming up for reinforcements. And unfortunately, I don't think that player got enough to get it done in the end. And once they broke through, it was Uli who did it. And he only went 19-24, but I think he got 3 in that final rotation. So he was 16-24, but made an incredible play to actually get it done right at the end.
Yeah, did a really good job. But obviously, in the end, it is such a difficult thing to call towards the end, though, isn't it? Over towards that first hill. If you could have found that complete lockdown, that's the game. You don't have to see another search and destroy. But as it goes, we go over towards the Desert Siege now as well. Haven't seen one of those all night. So yeah, excited to jump into map number 5 very short.
Me too. We will settle this though right after this quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you right off this on Call of Duty Challengers Elite. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Call of Duty Challengers Elite. We have gone the distance, but it is now time. Our North American show heads to a map number 5. Iron Blood Gaming versus Electrify Steel. The tale of two metals, but which is stronger in the end? At the moment, it's been a very close series between these two, Tom, but we do settle it here.
we do settle it here. It's been a map 5 in every single series we've done today. They've got their money worth out of us today, Brassy, haven't they? Desert Siege is going to be coming up for map number 5. And I'm curious to see where this one's going to go, because Electrify Steel looked good in that Search and Destroy, and because they look fantastic. But Desert Siege is very, very different. I'm curious how they're going to say it. It's much more about your long-range fights. It's curious if the sniper's going to come out as well for somebody who's going to be able to hold down the B side along the desert in the open, vast area down that left-hand side. I'm curious. Very, very curious. It's about the fights inside the palace as well. If Electrify Steel want to take it that way, they seem to win the close quarters battles quite often when it came down to S&D on Bocage. So is that the way to get things done here on Desert Siege as we load into another map number 5, Bricey?
Well, here we go. No matter what happens now, we get our answer one way or the other. One of these teams has to walk away as the champions and get themselves a great start to their elite campaign in North America. As we've seen before, a great start can often convert and get all the way into the playoffs. And that's what these two teams want. They want to make sure that this counts. Really going straight for this.
Steel. Yeah, very, very fast. Plenty of control over towards B though for Iron Blood Gaming, who are now going to rotate themselves back over towards A, because it seems as if they've noticed that Palace control is no longer theirs. So they need to keep an eye on the neighbor who try and find a pick as well. He gets some information, takes a couple of bullets for it. 50 HP and away. Nobody dropping just yet. Electrify Steel though, plenty of control around Palace.
It's kind of crazy. There's actually been no kills going down, considering how this round started. It was aggressive coming out of them here. Assault might try and use this, but he's very well known for it. He's going to find Ellie as well, and Ellie wins the gunfight. Noisy trying to get Kaiser as well, and Kaiser gets gunned down. You think time and time again they were in a position to make this work, and they haven't managed to convert any single chance. He seems worried someone's behind him, and he's worried about the people in front of him. Has to now back off as well. Welly looking from the other side, sees Ellie, and Ellie's just going to dance around him. They've got so little time to do this. Welly in a 1 versus 4, not even going to attempt it. Maybe just trying to get a kill on the exit.
That's all he can do. Don't feed anything else back towards them. He's trying to run for cover and trying to get off the map. Electrify Steel say absolutely not. 1-0 now. Good round from them. Take up control, but then they don't maybe overstep anything. They wait to see what they have information-wise and what they can do with it. Take their time, find the break, get the bomb down, hold it down. Very well played. See if they can keep it going.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something, Iron Blood Gaming, I don't know whether it was just maybe they just didn't quite have the luck they needed in that one, but every time they wanted a gunfight, they just weren't able to win it, even when I thought they had the advantage in it. And Cryptic opens up First Blood proceedings again. And they are not looking patient at all, Tunt. This is a very aggressive team.
Super aggressive. Plenty of control here. To the side of Electrify Steel. Salt and Welly now. What's the plan?
Well, you can see at the moment, they're trying to regain a little bit. So looking for the player he thinks is going to be in that corner, and technically he is right. He just doesn't spot him.
It's so hard from that position, though, isn't it? Like, especially if you're Iron Blood in that scenario, Assault now left in a 1 versus 4. Like, what do you do? You sent 2 players forward. They both died immediately because the aggressive push has come in from the defensive side. They have so much map control. What do you do? There's only so many lanes, so many routes you can get away from. If you're Iron Blood in that scenario, not going to happen.
Well, let's see. Because at the moment, Iron Blood Gaming, I think that might be the first time I've seen this happened. 0-2. That is impressive, if anything, to not see anybody really get anything going for them. But it's now kind of a question who eventually breaks this.
Can anyone in Iron Blood break it? I think they're trying their damnedest, aren't they, by setting themselves up very passively. So saying to yourself, right, okay, they're being aggressive, let them be aggressive again. Be ready and waiting for them.
Well, trying to figure this one out. You are right, they are being passive. Exceed has an opportunity here. He's going to see Cryptic. Not able to get that bullet on. I thought that was going to just wing him. That bomb is going down B here. Mine gets first blood again, though. Well, he will not be breaking that duck this time. Assault does, though.
So good from Electrify Steel. Yeah, Assault has broken that duck 3v3.
He's pushing forward. He's going to see Mind in the middle as well. Now advantage to them. They're going to come through as well. Uli's going to be there, though. Shuts him down with an auto. The Glass to Succeed has really kind of failed to make any sort of move through this. And now he's left in a 1 versus 2. He has the sniper, and that'll be why. He's missing a lot of bullets. Eventually does take him down. 15 seconds left to go, but will be cut down by Cryptic. But at least there is something in the water for Iron Blood Gaming. They have some kills on this map. And that's not what I should be saying around 3.
Very, very well played. It's just been dominant so far. And yeah, for me, Exceed, even though he has the sniper there, I'd love to see him to get maybe a little bit more movement going. Cryptic 5-0. 2 more kills. Glide Bomb available. Be pretty much looking curtains for Iron Blood. But let's see, can they answer back here? Does spot him over towards the mound, towards the back. See, we'll try to play for this pick, you would imagine.
Being cautious, he's going to see him again, and that player ducks away one more time. They're probably kind of cautious now because they see and expect an aggressive Electrify Steel coming through, and Mine picks up 2 as well. And they were right to expect him. And Noisy just manages to thread the needle, takes him back down to 2 versus 2. And he desperately needed that kind of trade to come through as well, because if they didn't, they might have just lost this round.
Two v 2. You really need this if you're Iron Blood. Nothing more crushing than getting to a map number 5 and just not showing up. And Kaiser, he spotted them. He's on the flank. There's one. Second going to line up as well, but Noisy will be prepared for it. Is he going to be prepared for Cryptic, though? He knows where he is. He does not know where Cryptic is. Oh, Cryptic. Did he see him? Shots are in. He did see him.
Well, I tell you something. Iron Blood finally get their first blood in this S&D. That was easy in the end for Noisy. Just shot him in the side.
Thankfully, for Iron Blood, they get around on the board. Noisy 3 in a row for him as well. Can they breed that into something? It's Iron Blood right now. It's not looking good.
We'll find out at the moment. You can see Noisy being a little bit aggressive this time. He's pushed right up for it, but unfortunately, they've lost first blood.
Kaiser will find the first back towards this side, though, and Assault momentarily left all alone.
However.
Very well. Yeah, oh yeah, he's taking down Mine. He can get out. There you go. It's doable.
So I'm going to try and do this again, though. Kaiser's going to be on Overwatch for him, and he's going to see it towards the back, and he's taking him down. He's looking for it at the same time, but Cryptic has his number, knows exactly where he's going to be. He's going to fly out and challenge anyway. And Cryptic wins a gunfight he desperately needed to make. Takes him to 4-1. Denied the 1 versus 3. Assault had stars in his eyes, but unfortunately just could not hit it against a hot Cryptic.
Nicely done from Cryptic. Steadying the ship after what was feeling like a potential 1v3 from Assault. 4-1 to Electrify Steel now. Can they get this one closed out? Will they offer a bit of a reprieve from Iron Blood Gamer? Remember in the, well, I was about to say in the Bocage, it started coming back, but if Welly's going to fall that early, that's not going to help things. It's a big push over towards Aether, though, from Iron Blood Gamer, but Uli, ready, waiting, finds the pistol kill as well. That is absurd from Uli. My God. 5-1. That was over before we could even have a conversation about it.
Yeah, they tried to make something out of it, and Electrify Steel just went and just wiped the entire team. Nothing more to break down about that one. But this is match point now. Electrify Steel. One more round in this map number 5. We'll take it for them. Cryptic 8-1 currently. On the other side of it, Exceed and Welly haven't really been able to get their feet into this game fully at the moment. Cryptic already trying to fire and get them straight out of it.
One will go down. Still 4 versus 4 here as well. Great cover coming in from Uli and the boys, but Exceed, you maybe need to do something about it. Doesn't want to challenge around the corner. Doesn't have the help. Doesn't have the trust of his teammates to jump in. Does eventually go through. 1v1 trade. 3v3.
Welly trying to do something here as well, but Mine takes down Uli. This brings it back to a 2 versus 2, and now Noisy going to be trying to push this one. Assault manages to find him. It's now Mine all alone. And he's going to get the mantle, and he is going to get shut down, and Ironblood stay alive for another one. And I'll tell you something as well. Exceed and Welly still not able to get kills that round, but their teammates do. And it must feel like, can we have a little bit of help here, guys, in round number 7?
That's unfortunate, isn't it? I'm not too sure that happened. There must have been a bullet in. It's just a very weak player. Didn't get to see from that POV, but is that a lifeline for Ironblood? Noisy's been great, you know, throughout the whole of the series, I would say. Been really, really solid. Electrify Steel, though, still. You got 4 more opportunities of this.
It goes in the pre-nade for Tower. Fortunately, nobody's there as it is going to be Electrify Steel, who fly out towards mid-map. And they've taken down 2, and now they've taken down a 3rd. And Welly left alone, a 1v3 to try and clutch it for his team. And he finds a player. But they know where he is now, and they are together. Is he going to see them on the flank? I don't know. This is full panic mode now. Doesn't have bomb. Heavily outnumbered. They are not going to give him an opportunity for this trade. If he can find one, he finds Mine as well. Sees Kaiser up top and he gets 2! And now he's running away! How on earth has the Wolfpack have lost that trade?
That is crazy. Fantastic shots from Welly. But now if you're Cryptic, you've just got to slow this down. The shots aren't there. And Electrify Steel will finish it up 6-2. Welly with a valiant effort. That would have been a crazy, crazy 1v3. But Electrify Steel get it done in map number 5, 6-2. Cryptic, a 9-2 scoreline, is the one who finishes it off. And we said Electrify Steel looked good in that first Search and Destroy. They looked fantastic in the second one. Really, really well played. A couple of naily clutches, I would say, from the other side of things, but not quite good enough. And I think the Hardpoint was the moment there for Ironblood in map number 4. That was your chance. Goes the S&D, and it was looking pretty still from the start, it has to be said.
I am disappointed in the fact that twice our 1v3 was just pipped to the post. When you get a 1v3 and you get the first 2 kills, you're like, that's what we wanted. That's what we needed. And then you don't get the last kill, and it's like, oh, come on, please. But that's how this series has to end. And if you have been following all the way through, and even if you haven't, this is how it went. Obviously, we started off with Bakash Hardpoint. Ironblood Gaming took the lead early on. Electrify Steel tried to fight an incredible comeback, but they ran out of time to do it. Then a very comfortable Electrify Steel on the Bakash S&D. They took that one 6-3. A little bit of a mixer of a game on the control. Ironblood Gaming walk away with the win, but it was close and could have gone either way. And the same kind of story as we went into Kavoodoo Hardpoint. Electrify Steel had the lead, and unfortunately, Ironblood Gaming tried to make that comeback, but weren't quite able to as it got shut down. But that's not the case on the last map. Desert Siege was a runaway by Electrify Steel. Some of the Ironblood Gaming players not really able to contribute to the game.
Yeah, not really. It was a tough watch to be fair. Honestly, there was a couple of occasions, of course, as you said, when there was the potential of the 1v3s, and that could have maybe ignited them. To be honest with you, that could have been one of those moments where we maybe get something going. But yeah, who knows? It's one of those, though. A kill here or there can sometimes make the difference. But to be honest, the fact that it has to happen in that way for Ironblood kind of really says the story of the Search and Destroy. Very much Electrify Steel, the stronger side on Search and Destroy, and it very much showed.
Yeah, it really was. Well, if you're wondering what's coming up next, well, unfortunately, nothing. Essentially, with the delays we had to go through today, with the server issues we've had, it does mean that our games have been delayed by about 2 hours to make sure we don't progress anything more for the players and everybody in production, everyone, including ourselves, to make sure it doesn't go too late overnight. Those games will be played offline and made sure that they are all locked in and ready for the players to get those games put into our record books. But that does mean, well, we've had an incredible time. It's the end of our journey with you tonight. If you are worried about the scores, don't worry. There are plenty of Twitters, and you can jump onto the Call of Duty League website to check out all the schedule and the players and all the scores that have gone down tonight. But we've had fun all the way over in Europe. We've had fun in North America. This has been Call of Duty Challengers Elite. Good night.